No.
Oh well, I guess we're live. We're live for now. So to all those who are watching, Matt's gonna show up in a bit. I guess. I guess when that happens, we can do like rock paper scissors or something. I don't know.
Crap! I'm not gonna win this at all. I just know it.
We'll have a jousting match.
How can we do that? We're in all
I guess
separate places.
we'll add Matt. We'll add Matt. We will.
Or I'll pick a person. I don't know. But either way,
Let's see what we got in the chat.
So anyways, hello. Holy crap! We're already up to 8 people, guys. This is like a record for like viewership because I usually do not get. These streams don't ever get high views.
Well, you have a big name in here. Well, 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess Vinny's just. Oh, here he is.
He's alive.
Is the audio in the background weird? Like, do you hear like it sounds like a machine or no?
Wait, hold up.
No.
For me. Okay, because I'm in the I'm relatively close to a washing machine, so I wanted to know if that picked up. Or not.
No, it doesn't.
All right. Well, I haven't been on a fucking live stream probably since Rob's movie stream. That was
I
a while
remember
ago.
those. Good.
I wish those were
Really?
still public. Those were awesome.
That's the thing, is that those are they're personal. It's very like they're very. I agree, they are very good, but it's also like really personal stuff for Rob, and I totally get the idea of like, because I'm in your camp where I'm like, what the fuck, this stuff's great. Why wouldn't you want everyone to see it? But it's I totally understand. It's like it's just hours and hours of him being a dickhead online, which already exists anyways. But like, I don't know. Out of all the things that you wouldn't want like a future job employer to see. Like, okay, we'll keep the reviews up, but at the very least, the live stream is not so much. I get it. I understand it as much as I'm like, oh, but I want to see him because it's like memories and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I get it.
All right. So when does Matt get here?
One of us leaves.
Should I? Should I text Matt?
Sure.
Yeah.
I sent him a link.
You're gonna be on. Is this live streaming to Twitter, to YouTube, or
YouTube.
What's the public? Because I'm here in the show area, but what's the public version of this?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
It's on Heisel's YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah. I see. Okay.
In fact, I think Matt's in the
comments
Matt here.
Right now. Which one can I? Yep. Who can I? Which one of you is willing to take one for the team? I'll make it up to you later.
I could. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
He's here.
Gordon. Gordon, are you okay?
No one has to leave. He's on standby.
Oh, he's on standby.
Okay.
I'll kick somebody.
With musical guest, Enterprising Engine 93.
Oh, I'm here. There we go.
What's up, man?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Matt.
There's the buzz.
Hey.
All right. You got a house here.
Look at this.
This is amazing.
I didn't know if it was fancy dress, so I could have worn my blazer. Should I wear my blazer?
I cannot hear anyone over. Gordon, right? Is that right, Gordon?
Okay. Anyways, we were mentioning this earlier.
I can't hear. I genuinely
I can't hear anything.
Yeah, me neither.
Is it me doing that?
No, it's JP.
No.
Yeah.
Matt's good.
Those are sliding door.
Goddamn.
Is it sliding door?
Heisel, did you get Eagle today?
Not today, but I got it a month or two ago. But next week's actually my Court of Honor. Actually, on exactly a week from now.
Okay, because you had a special dinner today, right? That's why. you have a special like Cub event? Not Cub. I'm sorry. Like a Scout event today?
Well, we tested live stream today. It's actually next week. My brother.
You gotta mute whoever that is. I cannot.
Yeah, I
hear
can't hear a thing.
Yeah.
It is insane how.
Well, it can't be
Oh, there
Gordon
we
because
go.
he's not
Okay,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, JP. I need to mute you for just a sec. But yeah. So my brother was just doing something, testing out live stream thing. And what happened was that that event just kicked off live, and for some reason, no, it's next week though.
Okay, cool.
So
you said you said
thank you.
Cub event instead of Boy Scout event, and I find that pretty amusing.
I did because I only made it.
How far did you make it, Matt?
Oh, I didn't make it to Boy Scout only a year. Or
Oh
like,
yeah, I used to be in like Cub Scouts, and then the first year I'm like, this sucks, and then I just left.
Oh, it's absolutely well in my experience. I was a Cub Scout and a Boy Scout, and then I stopped right before high school, I think. Or yeah, it was 7th or 8th grade, and the whole experience was just like, oh, it's the military for babies. It's just 101, like it's some weird like recruitment situation. It felt very militaristic, and I know a lot of people that as soon as they left Cub Scouts turned out as gay or came out as gay, and I was like, oh, okay, they were just sort of waiting for that kind of. Okay.
Oh
does that
god.
have to do with anything? That can't be like can that be mathematically proven?
No,
Okay,
I'm not saying there's a causality. What I'm saying is that they were not comfortable being themselves in the Boy Scout environment, and as soon as they left, it was like, oh, I can just be myself. That's not a. It's not a. I can just be myself, because they felt uncomfortable like being out in an environment that was so like traditionally men. We're men. We're gonna learn how to tie knots and then pretend that we still know them 5 years later. We're men.
Now that we're men, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
I
Yeah.
Not in.
my.
Okay, I realized as soon as I phrased that, it sounded like Boy Scouts turned the guys gay, and that's not what I meant. That was not my intention.
No, you're good.
You're right.
Hey,
No, it's okay.
camaraderie is
I get
great.
it.
I mean, everyone's
Yeah,
experiences
it's
are
just
different from my own, but maybe Matt can share that experience.
Yeah.
It was less.
See.
see, the reality is
really
that experience is less shared with Boy Scouts and more shared with going to the Shining Time meetups, I think.
My mom was the den mother of our Cub Scout troop. And it was when my dad would get home from work that we'd have our meetings. And there was this one kid that would never listen. So my mom's like yelling at this kid, trying to get him to tie knots and learn how to get his badge. My dad would come in with a hammer and pretend to smash his hand with a hammer every afternoon we had a meeting. And it got him to shut the hell up.
Oh no.
So my troop was very unconventional, for sure.
Funny.
I'm trying to think of like fun events that happened to me when I was in Cub Scouts. The Pinewood Derby,
I've had
like the one where you build like the
events
wooden
too.
car. That was
sick because I made a DeLorean time machine for mine.
Same.
I was very, very excited
Matt,
to show that off. That was fun.
what's he digging out? See.
Oh great! Now I kind of want to get mine out. Damn it! To get up.
I'm not going to turn on my camera
Let me
because I look like a weird homeless blonde.
Here we go.
McCartney.
All right, guys. So,
Pinewood Derby
you won.
2001.
Aw, dang it, Matt.
You won?
I won it.
You won?
Oh, you know what? You know what?
And when I
was
say
thinking?
I won the Pinewood Derby, I mean my dad
Your
won it because he did everything.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I used to do though for my Pinewood Derbies?
Yeah.
You know the little people from the 70s or 80s, like the one where they don't have actual hands. It's just kind of like the you know the game Life, like where you get the people in your
little
car.
little board game.
Yeah, we like my grandpa would like drill a hole in it where you could put a little people in it. Look.
I haven't heard Skype.
That's the sound.
Yeah.
I've
I
not
had this
heard.
one cool thing one time. So, Yeah.
Oh.
So anyways, so 1 year I had this we did this, so we kind of did a Wienermobile thing. So we had like, there was a flatbed truck.
You mean
But,
Wiener
yeah, did a
Schnitzel?
flatbed truck.
Wiener Schnitzelmobile?
Wooden and then we put a plastic hot dog inside the wooden bun. And my dad, for weight, he actually filled the hot dog with BBs.
Wait, you filled it with beans?
Yeah, he filled hot dog.
What?
That's creative.
All I just heard was like beans, and I'm like, did I hear
Yeah,
this
it was.
right?
Just
It is.
walking around. That's Jesus.
No, BBs. BB gun pellets. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's a.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought you said
I was
beans.
gonna
He
say,
filled it
like,
with
with beans.
metal
It does
BB
sound
stuff.
nice.
No, he filled it with ammunition.
Okay.
No.
I'm back.
Just there, guys.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. No. It's
The overwhelming response of people wanting to join. How oh joy.
We should be able to like tag in and tag out like in wrestling, so we could like rotate through a bunch of people.
Yeah.
That's
My
it.
God,
That
I
sounds
turned
good.
this thing off.
Cub
I know.
Scouts and
Otherwise-
men's wrestling.
Otherwise, we.
No,
Oh, you know what?
turning the power off. No.
Oh, I've got that one. I've got that.
Yellow submarine. Toby
Hey, I
has that
have
too, I believe,
that.
don't you?
I have that set.
Yep.
Oh, Frank, that's a
I
beaut.
still remember the day. That's a beaut.
Thank God.
That's fine.
Where is
Yeah, I would get my Pinewood Derby things, but it's upstairs, and if I were to go upstairs, my parents would start up a conversation, and I'm like, I don't want that.
Think about it. Is JT?
Does anyone need
I don't know.
Welcome to
like
the.
a lot of scissors?
Yes.
We got-
hey.
A lot of scissors that don't cut in a straight line.
Actually,
Scissors.
I'm getting my Proteus.
That's what I like to hear.
I made a take one. Oh, it is.
If anyone needs a lot of scissors, I have a lot of scissors.
No. Well,
Anyways,
I gotta
I,
have to.
I present Matt's Lord and Savior, Proteus.
That is wonderful. I love the silver. Oh, I think I've
See,
seen.
when it comes
have
to
you
me-
posted that on Twitter?
Yeah, like I think when I first got
The fact
Proteus, and I do this with a lot of my engines, like I detail them and all that stuff. But I would never detail old items because that's a big no-no.
And I would
But-
kill you for that.
Here's my Diesel 10.
I do for my.
Oh, that's awesome.
I never feel bad.
Oh, is that the
Yeah.
Trackmaster claw?
Yeah, that comes from the Rebecca.
Oh wow.
You have to get a Rebecca to make a proper Diesel 10 claw.
Heck, I bought two of those things. I bought
See,
two.
destroying one thing and then creating another.
Oh, Lord.
And a future
Meaning
project
what?
But yeah,
coming
so I never
soon.
feel too bad about what I do. Oh. Yeah,
Oh yeah, I
go
could
to
speak to this because when I met up with
I never
Thomas, we went to the beach, and the buffer would just fall off because it melted.
Oh, those buffers, man.
That the clay
Those buffers.
off it. Yeah, and Matt knows
Buffer.
about that. So he was because at Shining Time 2020 or not 2020 2019, sorry, the year before that, because I actually sent him one just as a gift, and what ended up happening is
Oh
it was
yeah.
so hot in the gym that they melted off the engine.
Like it was perfectly intact, and then by the end of the meetup, it was just gone. And I'm like, no one touched them; they weren't damaged. And I'm like, oh, it's because we were all baking in there. And I think I lost 5 pounds just from all the sweating.
There's
of that.
so many innuendos that you've just made in the past 30 seconds, and I will not acknowledge any of them outside of what I've just done.
It
You know,
isn't
now that I'm
wrong.
thinking about what came out, like, oh my god,
You
that's
were
not-
baking. It was hot. You lost 5 pounds from
You
all
bet.
the exercise. Yeah. Okay.
all right.
What was
Vinny, I
that?
think
What
you
was
made-
that? What was that moment
Vinny,
where you were like
Vinny,
a
you
shi-
made
you were like a
all
ship captain and
Magic
everyone was
Railroad
rowing?
stuff.
What was that whole thing where everyone was in a boat and you were like, "Come on, boys!"
Oh, so I was leading a rowboat. It was a. I don't know how this happened. It's on video somewhere, but I had a megaphone.
I think that used to be on Matt's channel on MPS's thing. Yeah.
Oh, and I'm getting like Twillman, Lemons, and Train King to row. And then like I pretend that the boat got attacked by sharks and it's sinking, and I'm giving them like bad orders. Like I will have to uncover that video because I don't know how it happened, but it was certainly something.
Well, I was just a bystander observing the whole thing, and it was immediately you just watched for 30 seconds and went, "Oh, okay, I'm done. That was good." I've seen
30 seconds is all you needed of what that was.
What's the fucking Thomas quote? Something, but he had seen everything. Isn't that what the fuck?
It was time for Thomas to leave.
He had seen everything.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant to say. Yes.
Yes. Also, got something else I can show.
Oh,
it's a work in progress.
Now that is good.
Shit. Yeah, talk to Wong Village about that. He's the guy who knows the schematics of it all.
Yep, I would rather give my like a bony hand pat on the back.
Nice.
So, yeah. And of course, like when I saw Wong Village's custom, I just had to do it. So yeah,
it does look like a fairly like how everyone's doing a Gauge 1 Thomas. I feel like 30 people have done a Gauge 1 Thomas, or they're in some stage in building one where it's like, fuck that. Can we just have like 1,000 people doing slightly different iterations of Lady? That'd be sick.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yes.
My.
Also,
Buddha.
speaking of props, I found some that won't cost you a pretty penny. Introducing Donald's water tank. Because they use this in the episode.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh gosh.
And pencil sharpener for the close-up shots. Sorry, like my screen is mirrored the way it looks, so that if it's like trying to go over here, it's going over there. So
I'm back. Oh.
You must have befriended a crew member.
You're back.
I was dethroned
definitely.
from the live stream. I was kicked out. I was kicked out, left out in the snow.
We're sorry, dude.
Sorry about that.
Was sacrifice for the greater good.
the greater good.
Greater good. Yeah.
The greater good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Hey, we all know that movie.
Yay, reference.
Yeah.
JP's the reason he's not in here yet. So. Remember?
Yeah. So basically, JP, I had to turn off all my phones because Will, Steph, and like Sudrian were calling me, and I was like so overwhelmed.
They both called me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys, but this is not my fault here.
I get it. Maybe we'll do another one some other time, and we can get into one here. Or you know what? I'll look into upgrading.
Is there a theme to this or something? Is there something we're celebrating? Is there some sort of correlation?
There is nothing we're celebrating, but you know what, Vinny? Since you're here, I know what we can talk about. Let's rip on Magic Railroad.
I mean, you did come to the right person, but
Vinny,
God.
did you see
don't
it in theaters? Did you see
the thing is, I had like a good friend of mine, like Cardi, like he went to go see it in theaters. A couple other people went to go see it in theaters. I considered because I saw the advertisements everywhere, and I was like, you know what? How many years of your life have you dedicated to things around this film, and you've never even seen it in a proper movie theater? And I was like, I really was considering I'm going to go do it. And the moment I thought about actually executing that, like my stomach churned over, half from embarrassment, half just because it's not even like, oh my God, there's part of it is that Thomas is embarrassing, and going out in public and doing something Thomas-y doesn't sound the most appealing to me. But it was also just the fact where it's like, this is a fucking disaster. Like, could you imagine if Sharon Miller did like a special 10-year anniversary of Misty Island Rescue, where she had to she was charging people for to hear about her writing process, and you see the Shakespeare Bridge came from a dog that I once knew, and I really thought that, or whatever. I feel like I would just be not happy and kind of embarrassed, and I've seen it 1,000 fucking times, especially during production of the parody. So it was just like, this feels redundant. And I'm glad I didn't, because everyone I see just says, "Oh yeah, the first 45 minutes they forgot to turn the projector on, and then they wanted to."
For me, I went to go see it. I didn't have any projector problems. I have not seen the film in 5 years since I watched it, and it's so abrupt how they cut from Shining Time to Sodor. It's ridiculous.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing that I find so fascinating is that we've spent the past decade, deifying this director's cut and saying, "Oh my God, what could have been?" Allcroft's vision was ruined by test audiences, and if only she got to see her true vision come to life. And you watch every single deleted scene and go, "Oh, the editors were doing Britt Allcroft a favor by trying to salvage some kind of narrative that sort of maybe made sense out of her 2-hour-long pile of garbage." Like it was. I wanted to give the editors of the final cut a medal after watching the deleted scenes that were included on the Blu-ray, because like how did you sift through what you were given and come out with what you got? I'm amazed that the theatrical cut is somehow the absolute best version of this story that she could have told, given the script they had to work with.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, also the other thing is, like, I saw Empire in the theaters, and it was me, my dad, and 3 other people. It was the best thing I've ever done.
I've heard that they're re-releasing it.
Sadly, it was a special edition though, but like luckily it's not enough changes.
Well, I mean that's the only readily available version.
Right.
Well, with Empire, they didn't change it very much. The special edition, that's the one unaltered, the least altered film.
Relatively so, right.
Yeah, New Hope got the worst. And I don't watch.
Yeah.
I refuse to watch the special editions of A New Hope.
So you'll just never watch Star Wars
totally
ever
not
again?
illegal.
No, I'll watch it.
Oh, hey.
What you do is
Wow.
What you do
He's
is
specialized.
you dig out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got a convention,
convention,
and when I saw it, I'm like, I need to get this. It's the only way to watch
What I
Star
did,
Wars.
I just went out to thrift stores. I just went out to thrift stores and bought the old VHS tapes. That's what I did.
Yeah, that's what I did. I found a copy of the original.
And hey,
trilogy.
Return of the Jedi is still in the shrink wrap.
Return of the Jedi is what?
Return of the Jedi is still in the shrink wrap, so it's still in the shrink wrap. It's still brand new.
For me, I'll just watch the.
Yeah. But
I've seen A New Hope many of times that I'm fine with not watching the special edition because I've seen it before.
I don't need to see any of the Star Wars movies for a long time. Fucking Rise of Skywalker is just like the turd on the pile of turds. It's just like I don't need to consume any more turds anymore.
You had the
I think
prequels.
I'm good at eating this pig schlop.
Or more like pooping them out.
You had the prequels, and then you had Force Awakens, which was like, yeah, this is pretty good. It's getting better, and then you had Last Jedi, and it ruined everything that Force Awakens started.
Oh,
and then Rise of Skywalker tried picking that up.
Can of worms.
I will say that if Rise of Skywalker built on, I'm sorry,
Star Wars. Before we switch to Star Wars real quick, I just want to say this. The only Thomas movie I've seen in the theaters is Misty Island Rescue.
Oh!
No!
I'm serious.
I'm so
They actually did a showing at my local theater. And that's the only one I got to see in a theater.
You were like 8?
Yeah.
So, I mean...
I still feel sorry for my dad. I feel so sorry for my dad, and I tell him that every day. Dad, I'm sorry I put you through hell. Will you ever forgive me?
No, because at first I'm like, oh, that's embarrassing for him. I'm so glad I'm not in his position. Then I realized, wait, I still paid money for that DVD, so I'm not in. I'm not.
Sorry, I had to get out of the room. What was it?
Misty Island Rescue.
It's like,
oh god, yeah.
It's like paying money for the Big World Big Adventures Blu-ray. Like, why? Or I don't think they even made a Blu-ray of it.
Well, yeah, because again, they're kind of on the right track. They're doing the Disney thing where Disney's like, oh my god, streaming is the way to go. Where it kind of is, but like from a financial standpoint. But it's also like, I still want to be able to see stuff in theaters if possible. I still want it. Like, you want the options rather than going, okay, well, this movie's only on Quibi. Fuck. I guess I have to watch Christopher Nolan's new IMAX movie on my iPad.
It's like it's just the only way. Besides, if you buy the DVDs of the Harry Potter movies, you have to watch them. Either you pay for them on Prime, or you have to watch them through Quibi, and I don't want to get Quibi.
I thought Harry Potter was on HBO Max now or something.
Is it?
I think so.
Can I add one?
Oh, well, yeah, I must be thinking about a
I don't know
different
where any.
franchise.
Oh, can I add something?
What does Netflix have anymore? That's like I don't even know.
They have Back to the Future.
They got
which
Back
is
to the
like,
Future. They got Indiana Jones. They got a number of original programming. They've got
they have
They
the
still do
one.
Office?
They have the one.
I think
They have the one film about the 9-year-old girls, which we won't talk about.
Oh, the French movie?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, my-
No,
That's
it's
They
I want
I
to see a movie made in that style, but instead of the little girls, it's all like the TWRC members.
No, it's Sailor John.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
no.
Oh. So John, Baby Boomer.
But anyways, getting off that.
You want cuties, but with John Hurt as a sailor? Is
I
that
was
what
Oh
you're saying?
no! Not
I thought mine
Hurt.
was weird.
No.
No, I don't mean John
Well, it
Hurt.
would
I
be
just
Miss-
mean
it would
probably
the
great,
character
don't do that.
Sailor John.
It would be
Don't
Yeah,
do
but
John Hurt. He
Sailor
doesn't
John
deserve
is
that.
basically a CGI render of John Hurt. That's why
Yeah.
I jumped to that conclusion.
Yeah,
And if you did it,
Well, they
did it-
obviously took John Hurt and they put him. Obviously, they based it
This
around
is what I'm
him.
just realizing now.
Yeah. You're right,
Yeah, how,
though.
Do
It's
we
the
want to talk
character,
about the
but-
other?
Yeah, can I say my
Do we
thing
want to
first?
talk about?
it wouldn't just be John Hurt. It would be John Hurt now, which is like a skeleton in a box in the ground.
Oh no!
God.
So that would
Get
be
your
really
bones right here.
Come on, man.
I think it's the only role where John Hurt doesn't die. If you think about it.
No, he just gets into
He
prison
died.
forever.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I
Well,
think- I
technically,
think-
you could say he died in prison.
I
but-
think Mr. MPS
He
brought this up
could've
on
died,
like
could've been with the-
grease and oil, but
Oh god.
Interesting.
That's the thing. I've been
Oh, sorry.
binge with. I've
Talk-
been,
go say something.
as JT says it, I've been so-called binge listening to a lot of that recently.
I'll be right back.
Yeah,
Of course.
it's interesting.
Excuse me.
It's super.
insane.
Bless you.
Say it.
You
Don't
know what? And
spray
also,
it.
I'm gonna pose this question because I want to hear.
Yearly Gordon.
I'm gonna pose this question because I want to hear what everyone has to say. Since Matt is here. I'm gonna go in order. What's your favorite Enterprising Engines episode? Let's go with Toby. What's your favorite Enterprising Engines episode?
Oh my god! You have to put me on
Favorite-
the spot. Oh god damn!
This
what-
is it's hard.
You really gotta do this to
Andrew,
me? Come
next
on.
time- if you ever, Toby, listen. If you have a stream, you can put me on the spot when you want. Okay?
All right, fine. Okay, if I had to pick one, probably the Mountain Engines one, because that one, they like the way the camera angles are and making these like small trains look like bigger than they really are.
Did Adam film part of that, Matt?
That's
The Colby Fell
Yeah.
episode?
He didn't film all of it, but there were like the big
Sweeping camera spinning around as they're heading up the mountain kind of thing. It looks like the stuff that Adam films.
yeah. That's definitely him.
definitely.
By Adam, I mean Tyne's sensitive tits. That's
Yeah.
Right.
people don't know.
Yeah, we
I don't
filmed
think
a lot of that
that's-
together
that's
at the
his
same
name.
time we were doing TCC stuff that year. So we
Oh,
Right.
God.
No, I
remember.
remember the overlap.
God, the TCC is the most interesting thing. I find so much fascination that Mattel did that.
Yeah. Interesting
Yeah,
is a very
apparently
diplomatic
I
word
would say-
that you picked, and I respect you so much for using that
Well,
word.
Yeah, I don't actually have any.
It's not bad.
You ruin the TTC. You ruin
No,
our
it's-
show. You ruin all of us.
It's not bad. It's interesting
here's
that
the thing,
Mattel
like-
would do that, and they're not putting
This
any
is an
effort into the
interesting
show.
question.
The
So,
TCC has
Matt, what were you
eras.
saying to me about
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
it was.
There's moments of limitation in what we can and can't do, and then that changes, and then that gets worse, and all that kind of thing. I highly doubt the TCC will come back. Not
be real,
impossible.
yeah.
Not impossible, because honestly, that's the thing. Because I left after a certain point, and it wasn't like I was resentful. Because I was the one who left. I wasn't like I was fired. Other people were fucking fired. I was not fired, and it was just
Oh my
like seeing shit coming back week to week was very interesting to me.
Yes.
The TCC
Yeah,
is
'cause I was
not,
no,
the-
I was at the end of the day, I was just glad that my friends were like getting
Yeah,
paid.
no,
and they
I would-
had a
no, the
job and-
TCC is not CSC. That's definitely not.
No,
But I
no, the
wouldn't compare
CSC
the
is the
two.
new thing.
They're-
It's the best
They're
thing
totally
ever.
different.
They're
Entity.
completely different styles. One was based on the
It's
international engines. The other is based on the classic era.
It's interesting.
Let's
actually.
be real. The CSC
Kind of
is way better
with
than the
classic
TTC.
edition,
Oh,
in a way. Well, hey, you know what? Useful. You can say that because the creators of both are actually or at least the main runner, the showrunners of both are the same people in a sense. Well, half the
Well,
same people.
Shoot me if you must, but
To
one is
say that
dead
the
and one is
fan
alive.
ran the TCC
No,
is inaccurate.
that
It's not
no.
politically correct.
Well,
Yeah.
Matt, you had at least 25. Did you have at least 25% input? Is that fair to say?
I don't know if
It
you could like chalk
depended.
it down
Like
to.
Mattel had
I don't know if you can chalk it down.
I
to
will
a
tell you
to a
that by the
numerical
time the
percentage.
Superstation came around, oh sorry, Nikki, I talked right over you.
No, it's basically. I don't really think you can pin like it was 25% or it was 45%. Like you can't really pin a numerical value to it. It's just kind of like the idea of like I don't know, like the top half of an hourglass and all the sand slowly disappearing, and the sand is creative control.
Mm-hmm.
And then after like this
Yeah,
6-month
that's not-
period, the hourglass pretty much. Well, again, Matt's experience is different because he was not just filming. You were
Right.
somewhat. You were in charge of like writing the scripts, but you're in charge of formulating them in the way that the higher ups want them to be. So you like
So-
technically a quote unquote writer, but it's not as if Matt's like, well, you know what? I think Yong Bao is going to become a daredevil today, and that's my creative decision, and I'll own up to that. Like
so
it's not
did-
that wasn't you.
Yeah.
Sorry. So did Mattel have like a list of requirements you guys had to make for the episodes? Or
I
was it
would
just
say
like
early on, Mattel
Yeah.
didn't believe that we could do it. So there were like no guidelines, but we had to answer to a supervisor that had his own vision for what we were going to do. And we had to work with him to prove to Mattel that these fans could do it. The guy who
Yeah.
discovered us thought we were amazing and said, hey, the Thomas fandom's so talented, I will pitch this show to Mattel and make it happen. And lo and behold, he did that and proved something incredible. He gave so many fans in the community this amazing opportunity. But when
100%.
Mattel saw how successful the videos were, that's when the Superstation started coming in. That's when
I'd
the new
say, yeah,
Trackmaster products were coming in. So
it
they
was
were
after like once you guys moved like a couple months into when you guys moved to the New York office when you were filming stuff like there at the company, wasn't that kind of where like because you have the original stuff with like the races and the treasure and that kind of stuff where
There's so many racing specials.
yeah, like things like that. But then after like the diesel stuff and I don't know somewhere when you have to start promoting the great races when stuff.
I find the Great Race to be it's the most it's the one every Thomas movie is like this, but I feel like it's the Thomas movie that was most based around getting toys because of how many international characters there were.
Probably because and if anything the way that they went with it was probably the best way to go because like we have an international engines competition. Okay, we would inherently need a bunch of new characters for that. So at the very least, if they're gonna be merchandising everything and they're gonna go, we need 11 new characters for one movie. It's like okay, a big international race. That's not the worst venue to do that in. But it was. I remember. I'm sure Matt remembers this frustration. I'm not going to give specific names or whatever. But I do remember that it was very frustrating to be in a situation where we were being paid to make little toy commercials for the Great Race because that's what the TCC was for like 6 months. Was a weekly toy commercial series that was connected to the promotion of this new film, and they were handing out digital copies of the film before it had been released to mommy daddy blogs and reviewers and all these things, and we were the people getting paid to promote this film on the YouTube through the YouTube venue, and they wouldn't allow us to see the movie. So there were little moments of like well, what does this character act like, what does this character sound like? I don't know, the movie's not out yet and they won't show it to us, so I don't know. I guess Axel's horny. I don't fucking know. Is that what we're doing?
I just did exactly what Matt did. I did exactly what Matt did.
Vinny, I think you
I
have
haven't
a
thought about that
background
once
it
this
was
year. Oh, I haven't thought about that once this
Like
year.
I guess Axel's personality is he just gets pussy. I think that's what we're gonna go with. It was very weird. It was so weird because we didn't have anything to go off of. They wouldn't let us see the fucking movie.
Yeah, that was weird.
So
I remember you guys. We literally. I remember it was me and Nathan Upside Now and Caleb Train, Brendan Rees 10, and I think Trent Diesel D199 we all had a call when I think it was when the iTunes release came out, and we watched it because basically we were working off of cam footage. So we had a Google Drive video that was a cut together rendition of the movie that was from several different perspectives of people filming the Great Race, because they released it in the UK in May, and then it wasn't released anywhere else, like in the theaters, and it wasn't released anywhere else it wasn't released until September on like video or on digital, whatever. And we were the reference footage we were using to work on for this paid job that was in a weird backwards kind of chain link way. It was promoting Mattel's stuff. And we didn't even, like, you had to use this bullshit cam footage cut together version of the movie for promotion. And it was very strange to have to do that for a while until we got the iTunes version. But that was in September. That was long after a lot of other people had been sent it so they could write cool, blogs about Thomas and Friends finally has female characters, where it's like, oh, yep. We're finally, it's 2016. We're finally breaking that threshold. Did you know we have an international engine? Yeah, it was very weird to be like, they've never had women and they've never had characters of other ethnicities. Where it's like, okay, sorry, Hero, sorry, Victor, sorry, all these other characters that might have been done. I hate to say it, but more tastefully than hello, I'm Ashima. My personality is that I'm Indian.
Ashima is the worst international engine they probably could have picked to pair up with Thomas. I feel like it would have been better if it was more like an engine that was bigger than him, telling him, hey, you can only be you, instead of an engine that's like, whatever.
Well, the
entire show.
A great way to describe Ashima is she's a character who's like, whatever. Yeah.
I don't really care. It's I don't.
You know what I'm imagining now? Just a cardboard cutout throughout the whole movie, and then have a little speaker that repeats the same thing every 5 seconds. It's basically what Nia and Ashima is. It's just,
it's just like a record. Maybe you, record player that just keeps like a broken record, like a literal broken record player. It's just like you can only be you. You can only be you.
You can only be you. So please go out and do everything that I don't even want to fucking.
You can only be you.
Why? I mean, I guess
you can only be you. And you can be you in 5 different colors. Go on to your local shop. Okay, sorry. Anyways,
let's go on to another topic.
Well, I mean, anyone else got a favorite Enterprising episode?
Oh, hey, Enterprise.
Oh, yeah,
let's go back
Enterprise.
to fucking his dick.
Yeah, Enterprise. Let's go back.
You're the.
Vinny, you go next. What's your favorite episode?
Well, I've told this to Matt on numerous occasions. We've discussed this before, but I don't think anything will ever be able to dethrone Munitions for me, because I saw Munitions probably when I want to say, so that's when did that come out, Matt?
That came out, I think, February 2013, I think.
Yeah, so I was like, the first time I saw that, I was like 12 and a half, 13, right? And I saw that, and it opens with a scene that leads into the character in this Thomas fan YouTube video getting stabbed to death with a sword by a guy who talks like this in this creepy, cool environment. And I remember that was the first time Munitions was very important for me, because I saw Munitions. I was like, oh, you don't have to just, because there's like people who do Miss Oliver and Blossom and Punjab, and those people who were like, okay, we'll put Family Guy jokes in there. We'll be swearing and poop fart sound effects. Ha ha ha. Like, it's not the first time Thomas was adult by any means. Tom blows his stack, but it was the first time where I saw Matt creating a narrative that was meant to be taken seriously, and it succeeded. He somehow made these silly, goofy little Lego stop motion figures into something that you could completely take seriously and get invested in who they are and what was going on, to the extent where a character gets stabbed to death through the chest, and it was like, oh shit, this wasn't silly. This totally could have been silly, but it wasn't. And that was a big deal for me, because I think I started writing my second Thomas screenplay I wrote after seeing that, I remember.
Yeah, Munitions is a bit. I always love Munitions too, and I watched Munitions like not knowing a single thing about tugs. Like I had never heard of that show. I
knew about tugs. I'm just a fucking dumbass. I didn't make the connection. I just thought it was.
I didn't
called
lift all the dialogue from tugs, but there's a few scenes where it's like get down, or like I did a few lines.
The blue nose.
It's the same premise.
Character, the military. What's his Captain Zemo? What's his fucking name?
General Zen.
Yeah, there you go.
Zen.
He's
definitely going to make a comeback.
Oh, we'll see. He may be rattling around somewhere.
Likelihood of that is very low. I take it.
Well, you have how many? Anyways, how many thousands of Legos? You know?
For me, I think my favorite Enterprising episode has to be Break My Stride. Oh, come on. Give me a second.
My personal favorite.
It's like the talking only when it's inconvenient.
Turn yourself on Do Not Disturb, and you can hear them.
When Toby and I were out filming at the beach, I think that was the first time I remember watching that episode, and I was just singing "Break My Stride" the whole time we were there. You know that?
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Also, I do remember.
I had "Break My Stride" stuck in my head.
I do remember showing my cousins some of the CSC episodes to like see what an actual kid would say, kind of thing. And like there were points where it's like I could see strings.
Well, that was the thing. Was from the beginning I realized that the Magic Railroad parody needed to, at the very least, be able to work. Maybe not. It wasn't designed for, because it's designed for people like you guys. It's a Thomas fan where that's a reference to season 5, or that's a reference to Bert Allcroft being a dumbass, or things like that, where the fans go, I get that reference wherever.
It's like
your mom,
Wilkinson and the
you show I was about to say that, where you don't show this movie to your mom and she goes, oh wow, that is what Sean O'Connor did. Oh, I get that. So funny. But it was beautiful. Specifically like one of the first things I was like, we have to make it inherently clear to everyone that, okay, sometimes you're gonna see the string. Let's, bite the bullet right out of the back and say, Thomas, he's a talking train he's a giant wooden talking train with a face. Shut the fuck up. This is what the movie looks like. Deal with it. If you can't accept that, you're not gonna like the next 3 hours. So just turn it off now.
Please don't judge him.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's like
my engine
if you don't like gold dust being used as a drug, then you kind of can't watch. If you see the first part, you can't watch the rest of the movie.
The basic thesis, the if you break the movie down to why did you do this, why did you make this, it's simply the fact that you watch the original Magic Railroad, and not a single thing anyone says is how people talk. Nothing anyone does is what you would do. Nothing anyone says is what you would say. And you're sitting there going, what the fuck is happening? These characters are like they're on drugs or something. Oh my God, what if they were? That's literally that's the takeaway is, oh my God, wouldn't it be funny if Mr. Conductor was talking to a ball and a bat because he was fucking drunk?
Right.
Not just because he's Alec Baldwin.
The reason most of the characters talk like they do is because Britt Allcroft is a
terrible screenwriter.
She always talks like everything is. It's hard to say. She talks like everything is, and it was magical, and it'll always.
No, it was. I wish I was recording when, I think it was about a month ago. I had a call with Rob where we sat down and we watched all the Blu-ray extras, all the interviews and shit. I should have recorded that, because that would have been an incredible live stream or something where we just had to pause every 30 seconds and go, what is she talking about? What is this fucking
you know what, I
elderly
would love
insane
to say
woman
this whole thing
rambling
for
about.
you
I
now.
don't get it. She's like that.
Time out.
Yeah.
Quick timeout, real quick. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, like Matt said, I'm gonna do a quick tag team thing here. Youthful Gordon, I'm just gonna swap you out real quick.
Oh yeah.
Hold on a sec. Just want
Right.
to give some people some time.
Oh yeah. You get me out of here if you, if need
What?
be.
Hello.
Hey, Epic.
That's okay,
wait,
Vinny.
aren't you that
Oh, we got two
awesome
EEs.
Ghost Train remake?
Matt. Hello.
Hello, good sir.
Hello, good sir. I am excited for Wednesday.
Oh, there we go.
Confidential secretness.
Wait, like I said,
Hello,
weren't you the one that
Heisel.
made that awesome Ghost Train remake?
I
Like the one where it looked like the actual episode? Hold up.
no,
What was it?
I'm not. Also, hello, Vinny or Nikki or whatever I should call you.
I'm not Vinny.
Vin.
Vinny's
right.
Vinny's a weird character I came up with in 4th grade that I played in a series of children's reviews. I think I'm done with that now.
Oh god, I remember when those
Hello.
videos were out.
We call it, no,
Hello.
Vinny. So
Oh, that's who it was. Sorry.
What?
No. Oh, hold up. Give me a moment. No, I was thinking of this guy. I'm
Okay,
gonna
so,
put in the link in the chat.
Mr. Vertebrate, I think. Something like
That's
That
what it
looks
was,
like
yeah.
he's waiting in line for the bathroom at like a work coffee bar in New York.
I know, I'm kind of antsy.
so
I
Oh,
So,
I had a
Sam.
milkshake for dessert
JP,
because
What,
I wanted to have
milkshake?
energy.
Matt,
no.
Matt,
live
keep it
stream?
PG. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
What?
Milkshake.
Okay, it was a cookies and cream milkshake, and I'm not used to having a lot of sugar, so forgive me if I'm kind of like a little antsy tonight.
Oh yeah.
I have a lot of energy.
Mommy, let me lick
Yeah,
the spoon.
I'm fine.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Cookie
Oh,
with
but-
ice
Oh
cream.
Lord.
I crushed
Hey,
Oreos
JP,
to put into the
how about you-
milkshake, but
how
they
about
were
you-
mega stuffed Oreos, so it was
Oh,
Oh
no.
my god,
too much.
mega stuffed Oreos.
Too much.
That is nostalgia
Lord
right there.
Almighty.
It was way too much.
That is. So, JP,
Sure,
how
overload.
about what's your favorite enterprising episode?
Oh, my favorite enterprising episode.
Wait, hold on.
Ooh,
JP's. I'm asking
um,
JP. Hold on.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Whoopsies.
It's okay. JP, what's yours?
Thompson the Fortune Teller.
Hey,
Oh.
that's a good one.
That's my favorite too.
That's a good one.
Yes.
That
Yeah,
one's-
that's a
great.
real good
That
one.
one's a really great one because you have such a knack. I've noticed, especially in the past few years, Matt, with like being able to integrate the narrative of, or in being able to integrate like what actually is happening in the world of Thomas, or like to be able to inflict commentary onto the things where it's like Thomas is taking a crazy, arbitrary, silly Sharon Miller train, and the joke is that, you know, like putting that stuff in there without literally having to turn to camera and do the show must go on thing where he's like #blast or whatever the fuck, where like it's like that's the one time where it's like, okay, yeah, you can break the fourth wall, but come on. You know, like you don't disrupt the narrative to say,
I guess,
guys,
to be honest,
this is commentary on Mattel, or this is commentary on Big World Big Adventures, or this is commentary on whatever, where it's like you're very good with, wouldn't it be funny if this looked like the Mattel logo? Wouldn't it be funny if this was the sun was meant to represent this or that, or this is a commentary on this, without blatantly hitting you over the head with it in something like the way that you might do it in
I'll
like
be
like
honest.
an Ad to parody or something.
Thank you.
I'll be honest. The Sharon, the goofy Sharon Miller style train actually flew right over my head as a joke. Dumb.
You know,
I need to
Nikki-
rewatch some of these episodes.
Nikki helped me with that. Nikki, I forget which cars you mailed me, but it was you and Trevor. But you guys
yeah.
sent me the wackiest cars you had, so I could put them on that train for that.
I don't remember what it. I remember I sent. There's a
I remember wasn't there bubble cars on there? Now I think about it.
might have been
No
the,
bubble cars, but there was a confetti car that I think Thomas Wooden.
Oh, I sent you the
not Thomas
caboose.
Wooden episodes.
Did I send you the musical caboose? Was that
You
it?
sent me the musical caboose.
Yes, because I found that. I remember when they were making the manufacturing transition between Learning Curve and Mattel for making wooden railway stuff.
Yeah.
It was like 2012, 2013, where all the toy stores are trying to get rid of their Learning Curve retail and to bring in all the new softed edges, rounded, Mattel 2013 wooden railway stuff. And there were just piles and piles of the musical caboose, re-released Dodge from like 2011, and then the Thomas at Sea with the little barge with the the misty out, like they were in an insane surplus, like 7,000 musical cabooses that were all broken that are being sold for $299. And I was like, fuck, I'll just send that to Matt. That's great.
Oh, that's awesome.
So funny thing,
and Trevor sent me the confetti car.
So
yeah, exactly.
The funny thing is about the surplus of Dodges. So that I think in Splatter too. So at this one store I had, I still have near me. They were having like were like stock was so much that it was actually like a free. Actually, they gave away a free Splatter and Dodge like with every with like your purchase there for a while. Which I found was awesome.
Yes.
That's so fucking funny though that no one your product has become so invaluable that you're like just give it, like we have 7,000 Dodges. It's 2012. No one knows who Dodge is. They want fucking Bash and Dash.
It's not even like a custom Splatter. At least if it came with the 2, I could maybe see it. But
yeah, it was. I know why and you guys know why they did that, right? It was like it was the day of the diesels, like miscommunication. They were like, "Oh wait, we're putting
yeah.
I know 2 physical retailers in New Jersey where you can get a Dodge now, and I can bet you money that there's 10 of them still on the shelf. There are still Dodges on the shelf in New Jersey.
Fucking go get me one, dude. I'll take a second. I've been using the same one for the parody since I bought the re-release in 2011.
Oh yeah, I mean, aren't they pretty much the same from the 2001, isn't it?
They just don't have the ledge. They don't have the ledge, and obviously the wheels are.
Speaking of ledge, so I have a Splatter that has a ledge going through him. Apparently, I don't know if it's a factory error or not, but like I found.
What does that look like? What does that mean?
Hold on, give me a moment. I have to turn on my light. My garage light. Oh yeah, that's another thing is lighting. Like for me, I just use your generic ones that you can get at like your. I want to say Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever, one of those hardware stores. But like how people are like, oh, I'll get the ones with the umbrella thing, or like ones that are meant for like professional studio stuff.
I'm like, nope. And things like that. Yeah,
just get the cheapest one you can find, and you're good.
That one. You know what? Actually, I'm lucky. My dad installed like these awesome overhead lights. These are like so bright.
Are they fluorescent?
Yeah, fluorescent. I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I share? Wait,
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
well, I wasn't share my Splatter thing. But...
Oh yeah, Splotch go first.
Sure.
Splotch legendary.
Matt just looks like he's constantly trying to figure out a limerick he heard earlier today.
He's not wrong.
Also, that is a beautiful set. Ooh, the Splotch crew.
Represents Thatcher.
Splodgy Dodge.
So, like I said, my thing is mirrored.
Oh, yeah.
Matt.
Oh, I see what you mean. It is reversed.
Oh,
that's
someone.
That is legendary.
Oh, good one.
That was actually really good.
That was genuinely good.
I'm going to think about that before I go to bed. That was so good.
I don't hate the way, because the face has to rest lower or higher on the front of it, so that it changes the placement of the face. I like the way that it looks there.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull it.
Yeah,
pull it.
It's neat.
That's cool.
Because it's my way.
Question, Toby, do you have the factory error version? Who has the factory error?
The flipped faces.
Oh no, I had those because I only have the 2 re-released ones.
Oh.
Wait, so that's factory error?
No. This one is.
No. There's the screwed up ledge, but there's a factory error Splatter and Dodge where the faces are flipped around, and I always thought that mine was factory error.
Yeah.
But I don't think, like, the ones I used in Magic Railroad, that's not fucked up, right? Like, the faces are in the right place.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Because I saw someone with a reverse, like, look at my terrible, awful factory error Splatter Dodge. Doesn't it look shitty? And I was like, but that's what mine looks like.
All right, here's epic funny story.
Yeah.
So when I was super young, I was recreating the chasing, and I thought, hey, since Bulstrode can float, he'll be fine. So I left him in this tub of water overnight, and and he was just diminished to like nothing. And like I was pouring my eyes out. I'm like, Bulstrode, no.
No, I remember my childhood wooden railway Henry model.
Fishy.
5 or 6.
No.
What?
The rain.
Oh.
No, so my
did
childhood
something
Henry
there?
model, we
I
left. It's ironic enough. We left the tender outside in the backyard,
Oh.
and it got destroyed by ironically enough, fucking rain. It did ruin his lovely green paint with red stripes, but it was the tender, and I just didn't get the tender back. I never got a replacement Henry model until like this is like 2004 or 2005 we're talking about, and I didn't buy a new model until like 2014. Like I was just dealing with my shitty tenderless Henry for years, and I didn't have to. That's the reason that Henry looks so weird in the crossover I did with Rob. When I've got that Henry that's all hand painted and looks terrible, is because that was my childhood Henry. I didn't have another Henry until like 5 years ago.
Did your Henry have a tender in Effortless Adventures? Like, was it just tenderless because of that?
No. Effortless Adventures was shot at Oliver's house with Oliver's wooden stuff.
Okay.
I didn't use my
funny thing-
stuff for that.
When the parody was complete, I binged Effortless Adventures afterward. Like I watched almost all of them.
You texted me that, and I was confused because I was like, why did you do that? I don't understand, because I literally made that when I was in 7th grade.
I one where the bridge is collapsing and Paxton's like going over it. I forget.
The Christmas special?
Yeah, the
Ooh,
Christmas
I
special.
wonder-
Where
what
Thomas
is
that?
the
Oh, wait,
things let go.
Is that made out of foam?
Oh, snap.
If anyone
I-
remembers,
The foam
Oh.
viaduct will
I
fuck you up if you spray paint it the wrong way. I tried to make a foam viaduct for a movie I was working on in 2015 that never came to fruition, and I had to make a viaduct for it, and I spray painted the foam, and it literally eroded away the material.
oh yeah,
made
that's
it
what I
melt
imagine.
the
I'm surprised it still exists.
Yeah.
Like, but this was like, man, I want to say, like, remember when the director's cut Chasing leaked?
The one with Audible. Like,
The one that was
vocal,
like,
yeah.
I'm gonna get
2016,
you, Burnett
2015, where you can actually hear that that whole fucking
I
thing.
remember making
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and like we cut out everything. It was great, and then just eroded. And I think I might have the behind the scenes videos still on my channel somewhere. But yeah, I just still have this, and I want to say that video is how old is that video now? I want to say like 4 years ago or 5. Oh my god!
Well, that's
feel
when I
old
started
now.
working on the parody. Was around that time, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cat.
You know, also another thing I do remember is you mentioning like the whole thing where like Britt Allcroft saw a carrot on set. I do remember that whole factoid.
No, that's real. That was her motivation for the scene. And then I guess going back to all the Blu-ray stuff that the Magic Road stuff we were talking about like 10, 15 minutes ago. Like there's a moment in I think it's Return to Shining Time is the behind the scenes part of like just the production of the movie. And they spend, 3 minutes breaking down the creative genius thought process behind the rabbit scene.
What?
Like, and
Wait,
it's
I have not
incredible.
seen any of them.
It's
Even
incredible.
though I own it, I have not seen any of it.
Well, you got to watch it at least once because it's like Tommy Wiseau, explaining to him the thought process behind. But I love Lisa so much. Anyways, how your sex life? Cheap, 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 cheap. Well, I thought I wrote that because I was a real genius. I make American movie. I love a big time.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not.
The doc.
Oh,
hi, Mark.
There's I don't remember what it is. I think it's the production one where they're talking about Britt Allcroft, and the opening is like before they show the title card. Britt Allcroft's like, but I heard from someone who said, Britt Allcroft, you're a visionary and you got to go out there and live your life and you're just a storyteller and you're going to tell your stories. So go out there and tell your stories, Britt. And it like shows the title card and this is the Britt Allcroft experience and this is her writing process and whatever. and it's just amazing because it's literally it's trying to put glitter glue and a bow on top of a literal pile of garbage. It's fascinating to see them try to spin the narrative that, well, Britt Allcroft had everything under control. She knew exactly what she was doing, and she was an underrated, she was an underrated visionary.
Okay.
And that's fucking hilarious to even suggest that.
My point. Okay, I'm going to say this. I want to say this just for the record. I think the entire production was screwed by one simple choice, and this may seem minute, but to me, it visually destroyed the movie for me. The choice to ship everything to Canada just because the investors were there and they wanted them to see it.
Right.
Personally, people argue that Magic Railroad is a visually perfect looking movie. I don't think so. Every set in that movie looked barren because hey, look at that! It's a tree. Oh, look, it's another tree. And tree, bushes, tree, bushes, tree, bushes. Oh, there's one actual building. Tree, bushes, tree. It's just nothing but trees.
As someone who hates Magic Railroad, but can at least say the cinematography is worthwhile and the colors are fantastic. The colors of that film are right off the bat. But I totally, as someone who will spend 17,000 million years fucking bashing this movie, I do like the visuals, but I also know what you're talking about in terms of okay, we're gonna show the big station, we're gonna show Knapford Station, and there's just trees. There's just trees everywhere. There's no houses, there's no people, there's no civilization. That element that every set is basically the rearranged set that you saw before, but now it's got a rock, and now it's got maybe a signal, but the signal's facing the wrong way, and all the signals are doing the wrong thing, and it's it's upside down.
No, it's like the Malibu Stacy from Simpsons. Oh, it's got a new hat.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's so fascinating because you're totally right. It was a tax thing. Everything's cheaper to film in Toronto is one of the cheapest fucking places to film. So that's why so much,
You'd think they would monopolize on that since it is. Yeah. Like they were like, all right, we got all these big movies, let's charge more for it.
No, well, it's something. I'm not the expert here, but it's something to do with the government and the way that they legally can and cannot operate with, the way that they tax.
Look at New York
studios because New York is so expensive to live.
No, that's what I was gonna say with that,
to live there, to film stuff. And I was talking to Brian O'Connor about this when we shot the scene for the parody at the end. Spoilers. And he was basically saying, because they shot the first season in New York of Shining Time Station. They shot the first season in New York, and then they realized immediately, oh, why are we doing this? Toronto is 45-minute. No, it's not true. It's like an hour and a half drive from New York, and the expenses go down drastically to the extent where they could afford things like, God forbid, Schemer's hair isn't real. Like in the first season, his curl was real, like it was actual hair, and then they realized, oh, we can just do a clip-on. So seasons 2 and 3 of Shining Time, Schemer's hair curl was a clip-on, and it was that same clip-on that we used for the scene in the parody. And he still had the clip-on hair with him. And I fucking met him. He was like, dude, look, it was really on the show. And I'm like, oh my God, it was really on the show. It was very funny.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, that would have been
so many shows moved to Toronto.
But yeah,
Pee-wee's Playhouse was the same thing where they shot the first season in New York and then they moved anywhere else because New York is so fucking expensive.
Yeah, but there's a reason that Seinfeld only had Seinfeld only had its their second unit filming in New York. They did not. They had their own city street. Same with How I Met Your Mother and Friends and all those shows. They stayed off the streets of New York so much. And even when
it's just so much easier.
And movies like Fast and Furious, like Fast and Furious, the 8th movie, it was like a pain to shut down the streets because obviously, when you have cars racing down the streets, you have to go to somewhere else because otherwise you're closing off New York City streets. There's
a reason
you can't do that.
Yeah, Gotham City in any Batman movie is some version of New York. It's some play on New York, and there's never a Batman movie that's fucking shot in New York. Everything is in Chicago or Vancouver or the most recent one they're filming in Liverpool. Like Gotham City is supposed to be a fictionalized, exaggerated New York, but in every fucking movie they film it in like, well, shit, we can't afford Chicago, we can't afford. It's not even we can't afford it, but it's just like it's so difficult to film a giant fucking thing in New York. It's like it's. Sorry, we're trying to have a quiet Zen moment in the middle of like a Wall Street trading room or whatever. It's just like you can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much stuff going on at all times where New York is not. It doesn't make any sense to do.
Can I bring an example of a movie that's like that?
Yeah.
Jason Takes Manhattan. Barely.
Hey,
Oh no! Wait! Gremlins
the
2.
title.
Shit! Forgot about Gremlins 2.
Gremlins 2 is probably mostly shot in like Burbank or whatever.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's a great movie though, but like.
Gremlins 2 is very
Toby,
solid.
how'd you forget Gremlins 2?
Well, because I keep forgetting it's in New York.
You need to know. You need to know.
All the sequels. All the
Toby's
sequels always
movie
go to New York.
is.
Yeah.
You know what? One movie. You know, a movie. His movie that he always defends. His movies, or not defends, but always loves. His movies are the Gremlin movies that he loves. My movies that I love are the Ghostbusters films.
Ghostbusters, yeah.
Well, both of them I love.
That
like the Ghostbusters franchise.
I'm just wondering because Ghostbusters was like it was a franchise. I don't know, but it filmed on New York streets and it never seemed to have problems from what I can tell. Like only a few, but nothing major. It must have just had like buttloads of cash because in Columbia Pictures ain't like a Warner Brothers where they are like super rich. I don't know.
Right.
I don't even. Well, it's not even because Columbia and all these different studios have been around in some iteration. Like I think it's the Big Five is to some extent they've existed, which is 20th Century, Universal, Paramount, MGM, and Disney. And for one way or another, Disney's absorbed 20th Century or. Universal's done this, but they've always existed to some extent. And Columbia, I don't really think they were much strapped for cash. So it's not necessarily, it's impossible to film on New York streets or whatever, because there's plenty of movies that fucking Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies shot in New York, and it's not.
Right.
No, that's a Columbia movie.
Yeah,
I mean, Spider-Man's a relatively big property, so they could do that.
Yeah, it's just a matter. It's just a matter of scheduling. And I'm assuming that there are better times in the year to film in New York. Like, don't come during Christmas time or something like that. But it's not something that I can pretend to know very much about, as much as I'm clearly trying to. But it's not the easiest fucking city to film it. I guess as someone who didn't need any permits, I filmed in New York, and it was pretty difficult.
Oh, that Mad short. Oh man, I remember the Mad TV show. Not the one that was made.
No, he's talking about just the movie. Just the movie Unstoppable.
Right.
I think.
That's a good one. Have we all seen that one?
I'm aware of it.
I'm aware of it. I just never bothered to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, am I the one to see Matt, Epic, JP? Any of you guys seen Unstoppable?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. But I've heard a lot.
Neither have I. I've seen the crash.
Trent. I know Trent made a quick jab at it in in one of his shorts. D199.
Yeah.
Oh, I know him well.
Yes, but Unstoppable is like it's one of those. It is a textbook example movie of taking like a real life event and dramatizing it to a big extent. And it's though, because you can just make a standard story about running a train that we managed to stop, and you just throw Denzel Washington, throw family drama, you throw a guy who's like a few days short of retirement, and all this into some big crazy conundrum, and the fat guy who's lazy, who started the whole thing by jumping off a moving train and trying to throw the switch. Thinking that, it's just locked in slow motion. It won't go anywhere. Oh, no! It kicked into high gear. Yeah. Good movie. Good action. And also, for some reason, this pickup truck, when they showed the guy putting the accelerator to the floor, they literally reuse a shot from Gone in 60 Seconds of, Eleanor, the Mustang, speeding up, which always just pisses me off. I noticed this stuff, but...
I
don't know.
Has everyone said their favorite Enterprising Engines episode?
I think everyone's
That's
done
some
that.
sort of a through
Oh
line.
yeah, Epic. Did you say? Epic, did you say? Or,
Yeah.
no?
Wild Goose Chase was like one of my first openings to the fandom.
That's
Yeah.
Just another Wild Goose Chase. That's the turning point, I think, for Matt's series. Instead of just being episodic, which I think that's the one everyone else think that Matt's series up until that point was kind of episodic in a sense, or not episodic, but like kind of
you mean self-contained. This is him introducing a
that's what I meant. Yeah, so
what you're
every
trying
episode,
to say.
yeah, man. Every episode in every series up to that point was kind of self-contained, but just another Wild Goose Chase like kicked off the whole. Oh, this is an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's what made me think.
The conspiracy theory like took the meaning of all the season 1 episodes and made it into this pep talk for Stanley, but that still wasn't like this overarching storyline. But then when Proteus was addressed, then it went to All the World's a Stage, where Sir Handel sees Proteus and the ghost thing starts to really take off. And then Swashbuckler was the biggest thing I'd ever done, and that was kind of the culmination of that point.
Self-fulfilling prophecy part 1, correct? Essentially.
Oh yeah.
This is so I know that Matt knows about this. Oh yes, tag team. I know that Matt definitely knows about this. I'm not sure for everyone else, but I am currently in production, which it will be released in 2 or 3 days. Another Magic Railroad project, Huzzah!
Ooh.
It's coming in 3 days? You're
your
that?
Yes.
Holy cow, that's awesome.
Yes.
What's your angle?
Also live action.
Yeah. Now again, I'm feeling stupid because Great Discovery is taking so dang long.
Great Discovery.
I'll help you out on
It's
that.
coming.
Really cool.
But
I'll try to.
the wonderful Matt is voicing Edward in Dodge, and it has been.
Where have I heard that one before?
I don't know, but I play Mr. Conductor, and boy, it was quite interesting to review the footage of me going, "Hi, Thomas!" like just in the middle of a bedroom. Like in front of the screen.
Okay, Epic.
That is just
you're saying you don't like hearing the sound of your own voice. I think we can all attest to that. We hate watching footage of ourselves.
Oh god,
yeah.
It's very true.
Which I recently
were you kind of getting sick of watching yourself every time Junior was on screen?
It's weird because I'm always the person who's behind the camera, and I very much enjoy and I'm comfortable with that space. If other people, you put on the silly costumes and do the thing, and we shot for about 1.5 years until it was like, okay, well, at some point you got to do the Junior scenes, and I was like, well, fuck, all right. So I grew out my hair and I dyed it blonde and the whole thing, and it was very different. Because we came to the point where I was like, well, shit, now I have to actually get a camera guy. I can't just do everything myself because I need, especially if I'm because most of the time Junior's working with Lily or working with, Mr. Conductor, or he's there's not a lot that Junior just sort of does on his own. I guess there's some things like writing on the back of Diesel 10, but it was very weird to, now we literally have to have a crew. We have to have a camera guy and a mic and a boom mic guy and all these different elements because I have to frame up the shots and direct everyone and tell everyone what they're doing and pay attention to the lighting and, oh shit, well the sun's over there, which means that logically that would be over here, and 17 different things in mind while also simultaneously going, well, fuck, I have to, act convincingly.
Yeah.
And Matt, I can agree with that.
I'm hungry now. I'm so hungry now.
Even after the milkshake?
Pie. Ooh.
You're talking about the number pie.
No cookies.
Boys to the yard.
Sorry, go ahead.
But I recently filmed the Mr. Conductor, oh, where were you? Blah blah blah.
The office scene, yeah.
Yeah. And I just used my own grandparents' apartment complex common room thing.
Hey, that's great.
So every once in a while, there would be some random person just walking by like when I'm falling with a poster, picture of Lady Hat, like, whoa, just like, what the?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, see,
You gotta, at a certain point, you gotta, because that's for like stuff like that. I wasn't as like that scene in particular in the parody was there was a couple scenes where that was entirely Rob's baby, where you get to write it. I don't need to be there to shoot it. You can shoot it on your own. I had very little to do with the office scene. I edited everything, so I picked what lines to keep and things like that. But you're absolutely right. You have to. I'm sure Matt can attest to this. Yeah, he does. He does sound. That's pretty weird.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's his
why?
Interesting.
But I think Matt can attest to this, where at a certain point you have to just be okay with people seeing you like, hey, I'm on the side of the road pulling strings. Oh, what's this? Are you doing about? Oh, yeah.
I can relate
for
to
a short film. You kind of have to get over that, and it's one.
Yeah.
I don't know. As someone who has done both in public, I'm not sure which one is weirder. Where either A, you're a person wearing normal clothes, but you're pulling strings on silly trains in a public park, or there's no trains, but you're in a full conductor outfit screaming, into the wind so that the mic will pick up your voice and shit. And you're in Golden Gate Park and your sister's wearing a weird elderly woman's, purple sweater. And it's like, I don't know which is worse, dressing up or being the guy who has, I got a box full of my trains here and I need to, use them.
I can relate to this because it's when me and Thomas filmed, like all my like cousins and stuff like that were at the beach house we were at. And every time they walk by, they're like, "Oh, look, you're filming a thing!" And then it's like, to play and stuff like that. And it's like,
yeah, we're like, it's just two almost fully grown men, just like just playing in the sand.
You have to get the shots. To get the shots you want. Yeah. You have to just be okay with at the very least saying, oh yeah, it's for a short film or it's for a thing or or it's for YouTube and you hope that they just sort of go, oh okay, and move on, because that is shit. I guess I've never been signed into both accounts at the same time, so neither have I. But you have to
Twilight Zone.
You have to be able to just sort of, okay, I'm wearing my weird jingly bong necklace and I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt and a Polar Express Halloween costume. And I have to be okay with that. Or,
Which
I thought it was. I wasn't sure.
It's basically what we did was we bought 2 Polar Express costumes and then we sent them to a personal friend who was her job is connected to wedding dresses. I think she sews wedding dresses for a living, and Rob basically just showed her, said, "This is the suit. This is what we need. Can you do it?" And she said, "Absolutely." And I think roughly about a month or so, maybe less, 2 or 3 weeks later, she came back and she said, "Is this good?" And we're like, "Oh, yes, great, perfect, thank you." It was wonderful. I never met the woman, but she's very talented, obviously.
Yeah, like for me, like for me, I don't like filming with myself. I more or less just film with miniatures. Like I have the Fat Controller's office, like from my Scarver person. That was like from ago or something like that. And it's like definitely tearing up, but it's still usable. And like I 3D print like all the little props and stuff. Asked Jacob to make some more figures, and I want to make the barber shop for Close Shave at some point, but it's just getting around to it.
Oh yeah, I was halfway through Close Shave for Duck.
Yeah, I saw footage of that.
It did not. It obviously did not pan out well, because at the end of the day, remakes are not they're not quite as popular as they used to be. I think just because kind of at this point almost everyone has done everything, and this isn't me trying to discourage someone from doing remakes, because like there's plenty more things you can do. It's not impossible. But just releasing those remakes last December was like, we're getting all these crazy videos out, and I spent so much time doing it. And it's like, wow, the view turnout comparative to what I normally release was like pathetic. It was like not even close to what it normally was, which is literally the audience saying, "We don't want this. Give us something different."
Yeah.
So remakes are not impossible to do if you can do it, if you can spin it in a new way, or oh my god, we're gonna do Rusty and the Boulder but with real pyrotechnics, or something really cool like that where you can let's do something new with it. But I feel like the kid, the kid who's I'm gonna do Toad Stands By on a carpet in my bedroom and that's all I'm and like that's not necessary. It's not I'm not saying it can't be done, but it's like not. It's not what you get sold. It's not what gets sold, quote unquote, promoted. 10 years on from when it started.
Hey Matt,
He's been muted. Ugh.
JP,
But-
what's up?
JP.
let's do an improv with Frank.
Oh, you want me to do like a Frank line?
Oh yes.
I got Frank right here.
All right. What I'll do is I'll read the synopsis of Vampire Academy in Frank's voice.
Oh my.
Oh, okay. All right.
Somebody screen record this.
I'm interested.
Based on the best-selling novel by Richelle Mead, Vampire Academy tells the story of two young 17-year-old girls, Rose Hathaway, a rebellious half-vampire, half-human, who is trained to be a guardian at St. Vladimir's Academy. And I hate this. I'm not doing this. I hate this movie already. I can't even get through a sentence of it. I can't. Abort mission.
Mission Impossible confirmed.
Mike!
Now,
I'm so happy I did a cathartic episode about Frank and Mike's relationship this year. And notice how I say relationship.
Oh no.
Let's not go there.
But like
Okay,
I was just go ahead, Heisel.
Oh, quick thing. All right. I realized I got to be fair here. I got to take somebody out. Hey,
I'll go.
Toby, you can you take one to the team quick?
I'll go.
Right.
Take me out.
All right.
Okay. If you want, Vinny, I'll add you back in a bit. Okay.
Yeah, that's all good. I'm
Bye.
All right.
I
There we go.
hello, Real Mix. But
All right,
but
Toby,
but-
Yeah, because I'm gonna get somebody.
I'll go one.
We got rail
And we'll
makes,
go-
and we got useful
Yes,
images.
No.
but
Yo.
James. But what I was gonna say, which was for next week, but
Yes, well, I'm
Is-
voicing Birdie in your movie.
yes,
So, yeah.
he is. Thank you, useful.
Hey, Will,
Yeah.
since there's only 3 days, did you want to show us a snippet of your film?
Oh.
Like
Well,
scene?
well, I feel like it only is proper, So
I suppose.
I commence share of the screen.
Yes.
But note that what you are about to see is a rough cut that was edited a while ago. Like not even a bunch of footage, just random stuff I have together.
Yeah.
All right, I put share screen, Heisel.
Oh, what's the runtime of the movie? Do you know yet?
Oh my lord. That will be determined because I plan on releasing it in parts because my computer is. Let's just say that if I even attempted to do it all in one go, I wouldn't be uploading anything for quite some time.
I got you.
Like it would literally explode. Not exaggerating.
I just need to ask you one
That's
thing. Is my Harvey line in it still?
Wait, Harvey's in that?
No, he's
Harvey might
Yes.
get an honorable mention?
possibly.
Okay,
But-
that's all I
but-
needed to know.
But Matt, I spent like an hour just like re-listening to your dodge lines over and over,
Oh.
just like, oh yay!
Hey, Will.
Oh, by the
How
way,
How long ago did you? Oh, you go.
Oh, so basically what I was going to say before all that happened, what I was gonna say was my favorite Enterprising Engine episode is Break My Stride because it's just so catchy. I love Fred. I made my own custom of him, so yeah.
Freddy boy.
And
I love how you used
yeah,
man. That was a great choice.
Yes, like it's just, and plus I just kept on singing the ending bit because like whoever voiced Fred did an awesome job with the singing. And
Joel
yeah,
Hunter voiced Fred.
That was Joel, right?
Heisel.
Yeah.
Will,
Heisel, please allow share screen if because I'm sharing my screen, but I think you need to administrate it. Or,
Will,
go ahead.
how long have you been working on this? How long?
Oh my lord.
Oh
a year
my
or
god.
2 years?
Who knows? It's been quite a long journey.
Oh, here it is. Got it.
Okay, yay!
Oh.
All right. I attempted my best.
Is this
at the turntable spinning?
Is this a private video or unlisted?
Yes.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, wait! I need to share my audio. Oh shoot. Yeah. Well, oh shoot.
Were you filming this? Like, where are you there? Where were you there? Like that room?
Here. Like I was saying, this was in my grandparents' apartment, and it was.
Oh, I love the lady hat.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just like, oh
God,
shoot.
Good.
Then, no. Watch out for Diesel 10.
You have a great location there.
Thank you very much. Here's Flying Scotsman Productions. Shout out to him. And he got Summer Sunday in 3, 2, 1. Oh yes.
Oh.
Nice.
Talk about taking one team.
Exactly.
Like chocolate or something?
Oh yeah, chocolate milk, I believe you said.
Oh,
here, wait.
Right. I'm so sorry.
PT Boomer.
Animations too, yeah.
PT Boomer.
Oh wow.
Oh, this was quite a journey.
Do you wanna maybe show us to George? Maybe. Oh, how'd you get that shot?
Yeah. This was from the director's cut. This was from the director's cut. Because super big time crunch.
Yo.
Oh yeah.
Vinnie
wait, I'm gonna PT Boomer shot.
You did the milkshake.
Is this the?
Yeah.
Is this the full video?
Oh.
Here.
He tipped over the.
Is this the full movie?
No, this is not the full movie. Barely the full movie.
Can we get a moment of sound for that poor flower pot? We need a moment of sound for that poor flower pot.
Yeah, come on, people.
Okay, that was long enough. Yeah, moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Oh my lord.
By the way, are my scenes with Birdie filmed or no?
I think one of them is.
Okay,
I know that one of them.
Oh, hey, dude, you got yourself a capsule Thomas, Sir Tom Hat. You got a capsule Sir Tom Hat.
So,
nice
so that was filmed by my good friend Edward Bachman 12. Shout out to him for this is a flashback scene, which I know Matt.
I love the factories. That looks really nice.
Shout out to Eddie Bachman 12. But down here you can see the taken down painting for Sir Topham Hatt to be put just right by me.
That's a goof. Ryan, he's in the chat. Yes.
Hello.
Epic Entertainment Films Tatmar parody leak. Indeed.
Yes.
Oh no!
Yes.
We leaked it.
No!
We gotta do something for his.
Take down the stream. Here, wait.
I'll tell you.
Here.
Remove the screen. Remove it.
Just kidding.
Here I am in all my glory. There I am. Quite puzzled. Somebody make a meme out of this right now.
You look stunning.
Somebody make a meme right now.
Will,
keep that there as I'm going to be screenshotting that right now.
Alrighty.
Well, how did you make the costume?
Oh, so I just ordered a blue suit off Amazon. I got a conductor hat and I just bought like a bunch of ribbons and stuff.
How did you make the background? Just green screen?
That. Yeah.
Like, how did you get the picture?
I just screenshotted that from the film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, there's a few frames where Alex Baldwin on screen. So
yeah.
Also, Trainmaster, I'd say that's just Matt in a nutshell.
Hey.
Oh, by the way, speaking of that background,
everybody agree?
Hey, Heisel, can you take Trainmaster's logo off my screen really quick? Okay, so I'm building this myself.
What's that? What is it?
It's Mr. Conductor Station House, large scale.
That looks nice.
Oh, nice. That's beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, Nikki. Yes.
You inspired me. Now I want to do it.
Oh, here's some scrapyard footage. Here is the gold mine, people.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, the
fog. Shit, you can barely see it.
This is
I need to do major color correcting. Georgie.
All right, Splatter. Did you do the assigned reading?
And here it goes, tipping over.
Oh, I can't see it.
Tipping over.
I'll tell you what.
I definitely need to do lots of color correcting on that.
Oh, by the way, forgot to tell you guys, I have a factory error dodge with Splatter's face, so yeah.
Bring it up closer.
Oh, that's nice.
So, and I want to get and switch the face with Splatter, and then wait. Okay, whoa, bit bumpy, isn't it?
I'm sorry, useful.
Sorry,
I meant to put you front and center, but
it's cool.
I'll tell you what I'm working on that no one else has ever done.
What?
I'm doing the deleted scene from Toast Match Grow, the one with Cranky and when he drops the fruit on Splodge.
Oh, that'll be great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, the reason I built the lady prop and the Mr. Conductor prop is because coming this year, no, not this year, 2025, the TATMR Director's Cut Useful Engine 11 version.
So many tap art projects. The fandom can't handle
Yes, but mine is going to be 5 years later.
True.
Nick,
that will be really refreshing. That'll be cool.
I hope he's proud.
I am quite excited. Yes, that is a lot of talent.
And then here I am, little old me, just trying to thinking of at least trying to get my great discovery done.
Oh, that yes, and I'm very excited for that one.
The reason why Splatter's face is quite destroyed is I thought, I should be extra and make model faces for the film. So I watched William Polteski's like put it on like the clay over the face. So I was like, this is gonna be so epic. It completely destroyed.
If I'm being honest, man, you should just
I
feel like the animation would have been the best way to go.
Sometimes it works. So both Splatter, Dodge, and Diesel 10 were destroyed, but somehow they're still in the final cut faces.
Dude,
not really.
Okay, here's what I do.
Standing.
You should just take a thin Sharpie and just redo their eyes.
Yeah.
I did, but they rubbed off, so that's why there's some.
Well, or just take black paint.
Take it. Ryan 12 might be able to help you.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
If you're interested in maybe shipping one to California, Ryatron is really precise.
Will, Seth wants you to show the motorcycle footage.
Oh. Here, I'll try and share that because I'm not sure if I can share my QuickTime player. Oh my lord, my DMs are.
Oh hey, you know what? Let me answer this question. It's a combination of a few things. Number one, it's a similar problem that Epix is at least he implied to have with his film. My computer is being crappy to me with space.
Oh my.
So editing on Final Cut Pro has been kind of a nightmare in some ways. And secondly,
I can relate.
I'm still first off, like I'm just really bad with managing my time. So I've just been like trying to do like both work, school, whatever, and then in my free time, also getting the ambition to like film the scene that I've set up here. You can see.
Ooh.
And if I interject, third, I'm helping as well, and I haven't finished my contribution yet. So I'm kind of relieved that you're a little behind as well, but I still need to finish my part.
But okay,
nice. Oh, by the way, Matt, I really enjoyed the
because
footage
Robert
cranking James's.
Robert took a tumble during that, so.
Oh yeah.
I'm back.
That was probably one of the most disastrous.
So Matt,
shoots.
you're excused. You're excused.
Here. Oh, I think.
Again, that was
yes, motorcycle footage.
Right?
Okay.
What? Sorry.
Okay.
So Matt, that was during Vincent's
Here we go.
sequence you were doing for like Bad Influence or something.
Yeah, Bad Influence is when
Here we go, people.
Robert got injured and I got soaked.
Oh man, I'm so excited.
No. Okay, there we go.
What's
There we go.
this?
Oh,
P2
yeah.
Boomer? Is this P2 Boomer?
Oh my gosh.
Oh god, yes. No, it keeps
Man, that would have
been.
Is that P2 Boomer?
Zoom.
This is gonna change
yeah.
history.
Nice.
This is gonna change history. Tamar Fall 2020 spread the hashtag. Haha. Haha. Shameless self plug, but
No, this is really exciting.
That's a lot of Tamar parodies, says Vinnie backstage.
thank you, Matt, for your. Oh, yep, there he goes. Seth, you are amazing
All right.
for doing this.
I know you want to finish the movie, but could you just like put in a random shot of Evel Knievel doing a sick jump that doesn't even line up in the continuity? So like it goes like the grandpa goes by, cuts to Evel Knievel jumping the Grand Canyon, and then cuts to this shot. Like you just do that.
All right, consider it done. Okay. Consider it done, Matt. All right, people. Extended cut coming soon.
I'm in that.
Can we call it the epic cut?
Yeah.
Yes, the epic cut. Somebody.
Yes, epic.
We have to make this a thing.
Epic.
Ooh, Vinny just linked a little something. What is this?
By the way, I'm not going to for my film. I'm not going to make any like
Yes,
what's the word? Director's cuts, because I'm basically doing a director's cut, and that means you're doing a director's cut of a director's cut. Like that makes no sense. Like seriously,
it's a director's cut within a director's cut inside a dream, inside of a director's pita, inside a director's
yes,
cut.
pita bread. People need pita bread. People pita bread.
Pita bread.
Speaking the truth here.
Inside a taco, within
Also,
a taco, within a
in
Taco
private
Bell,
chat, there's a link
inside a
to something.
KFC, within a mall that is inside your brain, inside a giant simulation.
Whoa.
Yeah. Also, this is really just random, but I am utterly shocked that the Terminator is free on YouTube.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Hey,
so some
hey.
late night binging is
Hey,
quite in order.
Will. So I was just watching the unlisted video, and I saw a scene with Cranky and Henry. What's that scene?
So that scene was just like, so I did lots of stock footage which kind of wasted my time a bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
that. But one thing that I would just like to put out there is expect a few scenes where like, oh, why is this character here? Well, it's my version, so suck it up.
That reminds me, I'm still really wondering what the extra extended footage of the Tatmar parody is. We saw some of it when Vinny uploaded the extended cut, but it didn't actually go all the way to 4 hours. So it makes me wonder, was there more? Sorry, Vinny. Or
More?
Nikki, technically,
More?
excuse me.
Yeah, the fandom has to definitely adjust to that. It'll take some time. Which in Nikki and Turtle's crossover, he says, Vinnie Smith, if that even is your real name. So it's just all coming together now.
And that's when it actually hit. That's when it actually hit me. That wasn't Vinnie's real name.
This is the Twilight Zone. Oh Lord. Also, going back to like random amazing movies to watch.
Will.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I also watched another scene.
Real makes you never. Real makes you never.
What?
Real makes funny. Real quick. Everybody else got a chance to answer this question, but you weren't here for the initial asking of it. Real makes favorite Enterprising Engine episode.
Yes.
I like the one it's the coffee break one, the one with Glenn and Dennis, and that one was my favorite.
Thank you.
I'll be honest. When I saw that story, I was actually starting to feel sad inside.
The good thing about that story is, even though it's a sad ending, we all know where Glenn ends up. So even though that story isn't a happy ending, we do know he gets found eventually.
He got to meet Ferdinand, which was actually Proteus the whole time.
So
hey, Will.
Yeah.
So I watched another of your scenes, and how did you cut your Knapford station in half?
I did not cut my Knapford station in half because Seth and I met up and did an epic collab for the opening scene of Tatmar.
You got another one.
And so with movies that we were talking about, one recently interesting movie, Hubie Halloween, streaming on Netflix. It is almost 2 hours of Adam Sandler going like in his new character voice, like JT thinks it sucks. Okay. But it's just like 2 hours of Adam Sandler going, Sheila must be safe tonight. There's spooky stuff going on because it's Halloween and it has to be spooky. It's good.
I'm just gonna say this for the record. I hate Adam Sandler. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Oops.
Oopsie poopsie.
Modern Adam Sandler, I'm sorry. He does not give a crap what he does. He's just like there going through the motions.
Not again.
Oh my lord. But
Adam Sandler is like polar opposite to Matt. Matt puts effort into every joke he crafts and every clever thing he says and every film he makes. Adam Sandler just shows up, grabs some Dunkin' Donuts and everything else for product placement, shows it on screen, and says, "Hey, I can make funny voices. Aren't you gonna laugh?"
Hey, Will, you know, like characters like P.T. Boomer, Billy Two Feathers, and like Lily. Are they like your family members?
Yeah, Nikki, you're right.
No, well, yes, they're family members and friends, but Hubie Halloween was basically just like a huge SNL cast reunion.
Did I know?
To be honest.
Did I know the film? Tom Smash. Do your family know the film? Tom Smash Garrett?
I know I've watched it with my grandparents thousands of times, so it's like singed into their memory. My friend who plays Lily, whose name is actually Lily, so that was kind of nice. Coincidence? I think not. But
that actually makes things harder if you ask me.
But I actually introduced her to Thomas, and now she's a fan. So
wow.
Oh yeah. Okay. See. Tatmar does many wonderful things for the fandom.
Not for Vinnie.
It's bad, but it's good.
Dang it.
That's just mine.
I can't ever get used to this now.
Epic. That's a hard opinion to. You know, that's a decent opinion, but I don't know. It's hard to say for sure.
Hard to say for sure.
All right. Well, that's fair. I guess.
Let's see.
But yeah, though. What else? Okay. So. All right. So. Oh. Yo. Hold on. JP, what you got?
This is my custom Knapford book stand.
Ooh.
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 Let me
Beautiful.
finish it though.
Nice.
Also, got my custom Knapford.
Oh,
Hey.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, there's things falling.
Here it goes.
oh, the hands! I just saw the hands.
Got him.
By surprise.
All right. I am gonna turn on my camera, which take my face out of this, so this hopefully doesn't get demonetized. But here
no,
is
don't do
a
it,
set.
Will.
Here's a set for Tatmar. Tat of the Mar. I just filmed it.
Hey.
It's
This video, if
Frankie.
you know what, if our faces would have gotten our videos demonetized, I think the stream would not have. The stream would have shut down the moment it started.
oh my.
I'm talking about me.
But
He's a different story though.
I want to show off my set, but I can't turn my camera on. I don't
Oh.
even have a camera on this computer.
Also, I just
That
want to
is
say
not
this:
good.
everyone else who has facial hair here has it better than me. Matt, your stuff looks better. JP, you've got a sick mustache going on, and whoever else has facial hair here, you've got it going better.
all right.
If
just
you
got
can
this
look
dumb
underneath my chin, I kind of have
fuzz.
some.
Even
some
me.
growing
I mean,
over here.
I'm surprised, but oh yeah, we can't show that.
If I'm being
Yeah,
honest, I
actually
wouldn't mind
did.
actually.
I had a
growing
beard last
beard.
week.
Yes.
But
Well,
this
You look good with one.
setup thing is for
Right.
Diesel Pen and Sir
Yeah,
Handle.
that's
Interesting dynamic there.
Oh,
Ooh.
also, Will, I got a tip for you. So
Yeah.
I was just watching one of your George scenes, and yeah, it's actually really good. But I can, a way where you can move George, but you don't see the tape under it.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, instead of like taping it under the George, you could so you see where his front steamroller wheel is. You
Mhm.
could put the string between the wheel and the black bit, pull it through, and then pull it like that. That's how I did it.
Oh, I will try that for the next George scene. Interesting tactic.
Yeah, so
Oh,
just
by the
put the
way,
string
another thing,
between
Will.
and pull it through.
So,
Here,
like,
here's
for
me
the
trying to
string,
show my face, but
like,
not really.
I learned
Here
an
we go.
interesting trick.
This can work.
No,
What?
you need to be a turtles. Well, you need to be future turtles.
Okay, then. That is. There we go. Here, I'll just step out.
And like that, he was gone.
We should have had a masked ball live stream where we all had to wear masks.
Oh my yes.
To be honest, when your film comes out, Will, we should do another live stream and watch it all together. Maybe I don't know.
Oh, possibly. Here. I'm
by the
just
way.
subtly moving.
All right, you know what?
across
Listen,
the
guys.
screen.
For next time, I'm gonna look into a StreamYard. I'm gonna look into a StreamYard this next time where I can have up to 10 people in here because that'll.
Yay. Here,
Yeah.
That'll
here
definitely be
now.
better.
Oh,
Now I can join in on the fun because I have my spooky mask. Here,
This is just out of respect for social distance
Here,
guidelines.
just-
I just
here,
want to
just-
be
Yeah.
extra careful.
here's my festive spooky mask for everyone.
Well, that is
I don't have a
quite
mask.
spooky.
I'll be back.
Thanks, Party
I'll be
City.
back.
Oh god.
Oh, by the way, I want to do a quick shout out as my birthday is coming up soon, and I'm about to be 16, so that's gonna be cool.
It is chaos.
I'm gonna be doing a birthday stream. If anyone wants to join, that's cool. Of course, I want to have only like 5 people, as including myself. It's gonna be 6. So, yeah.
Happy birthday.
If anyone wants to join, then hop on the party train, and I'll see you at the station.
Choo choo.
What day is your birthday?
November 2nd.
Oh, okay. Wow.
What
That's a Monday, isn't it?
Yes, I hate Mondays, but this Monday is gonna be special.
This is gonna be the exception.
Yes.
See you guys later.
All right, man.
See you.
Bye,
Nice
David.
seeing you, man. All right, JT is coming back, right?
Here we go. Here. This can. Okay, my mask keeps coming off.
Oh wait,
my
I might
God.
grab some water. Do you guys mind if I tag out for a bit too?
Oh, sure. I mean, well, no, that's Heisel's call. What am I saying?
I'm gonna get some water.
You can't see me.
I'm back.
Back again. Guess who's back?
Shady's back.
Yeah. All right, we're back. Okay.
Shady, you.
All right.
This is probably the best stream I've ever been in a while. I haven't done many.
Lighter better on the
Yeah.
other side of him.
Well, I mean, not to mention the one. Okay, hey JT, were you in the stream
Why
where
did you make
Easy
such a
Coldy,
hard offer?
Clark, and just a lot of people were like in my stream and all? I was like, oh my god,
Well,
this is
no.
Oh yeah, that
But
was
I
a
mean, we
legendary
talked to
moment.
them now, so I don't
that
feel
was
like.
a mess. Like I had to switch so many people out just so they can get enough screen time. I'm like, when will this nightmare end?
When will it end? Nobody knows.
I guess that's kind of the problem with streaming.
Yeah,
you
I've
want to
never had
have a
a
lot of
problem.
people, but you don't want to let them out.
I remember this is bringing. I never got to answer what my favorite Enterprising Engines episode was.
Here we go.
So I have the oddest bro. You're so
Gordon's
emo.
fan, yeah.
I have the oddest choice for my favorite episode. It's just because I find it so interesting. I love the way he edited it, but Mavis in the Tornado. Oh, 1 and 2. I don't know
Which
why
one?
it's my favorite
Oh,
since
okay.
season 1. I don't know why. Mavis in the Tornado. For no reason why it's my favorite episode. It just is.
It's a good one. I like it. Real good one. I wish I could have told it while Matt was here, but I told it last time, but yes, it was so great actually getting a chance to work with Matt, on a whole bunch of episodes, with half of those episodes I worked on them with, those 4 episodes I worked on them with.
By the
Those
way,
were just
Heisel,
such a blast
isn't
to
the
work
one
on.
with
Because I mean, it's
So, me and
honestly it's
JT
amazing, working.
Go ahead.
By the way, my name's JT, so just call me Gordon. So, because Heisel was calling me JT, so it doesn't get confused with JP.
Well, JP's kind of left,
Also, I have a question.
JP is not in the stream. I just use the name Gordon. It's better.
I have a question.
By the way, Heisel, me and Gordon were trying to sell something. The episode that featured Young Tucker, it's E2 Brute, right?
No, it's E2 Brute. It's not pronounced Brute.
Brute.
E2 Brute.
Brute.
Hey, well, Matt,
what did I tell you?
It's Brute. E2 Brute.
Brute.
Question. That's the
See,
English
what the
word
heck
is
did I
not
tell
pronounced
you?
Brute. It's pronounced Brute.
It's
Question.
Shakespeare.
Question. Who is Dirty Percy in
It's Shakespeare.
private?
Why do I have a
that
feeling
was
that's
good
just
time.
Vinny?
Think of that.
What?
Okay,
I
so
am
you
not
were
sure.
right, never
Anybody know?
mind.
Dirty Percy, show yourself.
Dirty Percy. Don't call me Dirty Percy.
I'll kick Rail Mix here from it because he's muted.
I got
JT face reveal. Who is this Dirty Percy?
I got Mike in the mail recently.
Ooh, Mikey.
Don't.
Dirty Percy.
Wait,
I need him for a
His
very,
name is
very
Mike.
special project.
Joke's
that
so
only-
funny? No? Is that what we do here in Thomas YouTube? Run to the ground?
All right, let's see if Vinny's back.
Vinny?
People are protesting in the chat. They want Nikki back.
Nikki.
Oh.
Nikki.
All right, shut up.
Nikki.
Hello. Hi. What's up?
Oh.
Sup, Sparkle.
I gotta say,
Vinnie,
Epic Entertainment.
whatever your name is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Epic Entertainment. I gotta say, your little conductor suit is the second best conductor suit I've seen, and it's very impressive. That,
Thank you.
like in terms of fan made shit. I genuinely, I thought it was really sick. It looks very good. It's quite a testament that someone as young as you can make a suit that looks better than Sam Wilkinson's.
Dude,
good shit, man. Good shit.
Vinny or Nikki, you have which as I say this, I look this idiotic, but.
Well, look at my icon. It's not much better.
But you have inspired like everything I do. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Well, I do really appreciate that. I could tell the influence. I don't know what I have, and I'm doing something else right now during this stream, but I was looking at the footage you had with the office scene and the little gas-powered bike Boomer had. That was pretty sick. We couldn't even fuck the reason that Boomer has a scooter in our version is because it's way funnier to see this villain try to be threatening while just going away. But if we had access to something like you did, like that bike, I guarantee we would have used it. So to see that was actually very cool to see a fan-made production go, oh, hey, wait, we actually have a fucking motorbike. So it's good shit, man. Good job.
Thank you very much.
Good stuff.
I personally, Nikki, you're probably my main inspiration behind doing reviews when you did them.
Oh, like way back, like 2014, like Fedora review?
No, well, to an extent, mostly the MPS crossover and the Rob crossover, and then the.
Well, I appreciate that because I think those are the best ones as well.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
So
by
Rob,
the way, I hate to interrupt all this, but Heisel, can we please let my friend Sudrian join? He won't stop calling me unless we give him the link.
Beaten into submission.
Just here. I guess we can just give him the link.
Oh shoot!
What am I supposed to do? People are always coming to me.
How about if he's fun to stay in the waiting room?
Oh,
all right. Let him. Okay, give him an invite. Put him in the waiting room wherever. We'll do that.
And Nikki.
Okay.
Sorry, that's yours. Okay, Toby, what is going on? What is going on in your scene? What is going on in your scene?
The thing is, it's the Mad Bomber 2 episode because there's two fat controllers.
I know you have two, but what's going on?
Well, you see, Lady Hat is having an affair with the second fat controller because he has some great knees. Look at that! Look at those knees. And Lady Hat she thinks he's so fit that he wants. I'm marry the fat controller, even though they're the same person. It's
Nikki. Silver Island video says all father-son moments with Nikki and Epic. That was quite.
Who? What?
Wait, what?
That was.
I want to. Both of you guys need to be at Shining Time 2021.
I probably won't be at any time. I mean, again, I don't fucking know what I'm doing 2 years from now. I probably won't go back to one of those things. But I don't. You know what? I honestly, I'm gonna shut up right now because I don't know what I'm doing. So maybe I will. Maybe I
personally think that Shining Time. I hope that it's. I think it'll be a success. A lot of people are saying that fights are going to break out, but let's just be honest. Nobody that fights in the fandom, they're all too scared to actually fight somebody in real life.
Are you kidding me? Everyone in the Thomas fandom is a pussy. What do you do? Exactly. Yeah, no one. And even if there were, even if it would, you would be one. The fights would inherently be won just by.
Dude, there'll be two
like that's like Will Politeski just walking up to Ted. Like the dude's a mountain. he doesn't have to fight to win. He's just like the only way that you would be able to win a fight is just by like how naturally large or small you are, because the bigger person would just win just by sitting on the other guy or whatever, you know.
So yeah, that's the one thing about
everybody, the people that create drama, and their whole point of being on Twitter is to fuel that drama, even though they're like, I don't feel any drama. What are you talking about? And they get like offended. You're fueling the fire. You're not trying to stop it. You're just fueling it.
Yeah.
There was an altercation that almost occurred at the third trough meetup in 2018, but it wasn't between two Thomas people. We just happened to bear witness to a bunch of hillbillies being idiots.
Well, that's good.
But that wasn't like, oh my god, look at Kikray is about to, you know, kick Enterprising's ass.
Could you imagine that?
Yeah,
that'd be funny.
That's very, very low risk of happening.
Nikki.
Yeah.
Ted fought.
Yeah, those are two people I never.
Ted fought a bear.
Our 10 cents.
Yeah, and you probably won.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Really, Ted.
Nikki.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Back,
None of the.
I feel a little bit like I'm in recovery right now.
My name is Thomas. My name is Thomas, and I'm addicted to trains.
I think Epic Entertainment was saying something.
Oh, sorry. Let's. Okay, you know what?
Thank you.
All right. Let's start off this. Let's start off this AA meeting. My name is Thomas.
Hello, Thomas.
Hello.
Hi.
And I am addicted to Thomas the Tank Engine, and many other things.
We all can get through it.
My name is Alec Baldwin, and I just have to have my sparkle. I have to have it.
Well, anyways, you know, it's sad because we were like
we have to, but
anyways, what I was gonna say was it's sad. It's almost a week now, and I've barely gotten in the Halloween spirit.
Yeah.
Now this is coming out of nowhere, but I was just thinking of The Simpsons, and imagine if like you first see Ashima, she's about to talk, but you hear like Apu's voice from The Simpsons come out of her, and it's just like,
Get back to
the
I really don't want to be canceled, so I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah,
let's just get to the Halloween stuff.
Let's not start doing. Let's not start doing.
No,
all the
don't do
funny
the
voices
accent, but
that
just
are in
imagine.
everybody's head.
Like imagine that.
Yeah,
that's not a good call because
That's not what we did.
someone will tweet this and then it's like, yeah, whatever. Enough people have had their absolute their YouTube careers destroyed in the past month.
Really?
Wow,
For
Nikki.
no reason, here's out.
Wow, you know, it makes it sound like it's happened to literally everyone before and after this.
Wait, what?
It's sad that that's happened. Why can't we? You know, I get it. You say something. Yeah, I'm just saying. You just said like I don't want to be, taken out of context or something like that. I'm like, yeah,
it's not.
Because of course, I'm like saying, oh, that's ridiculous. Nothing like that has ever happened before to anyone ever.
Sodor Express Studios says
Context doesn't matter to most of the fandom. As long as you screw up in any way, there's no recovery for you. You're out.
Well, you should be able. I feel like you've got a situation. You've got a couple different situations where people are again and again. Okay, he said one thing, but let's give him another chance, and they make some sort of apology video, which is like a stereotype, or they make an apology tweet saying, "I need some time off. I need to this and that." And I think if it's a one-time thing, and the person's like, I really want to be better, you should at the very least give them the opportunity to prove that they can be redeemed, because I feel like everyone should get that second chance. But then you have people that just go again and again and second, third, fourth N-bomb, where it's like, all right, motherfucker, just move on.
It bothers me that people people know what they're doing is wrong, but they will defend themselves till basically the end.
It's sad. It is sad, and I don't think this is the best.
You gotta realize that you're
not
wrong at some
necessarily.
point in time.
Yeah, it's the lack of self-awareness that's a problem, and I don't really want to talk about it anymore, at least right now, because again, so I feel like most of the stuff I want to talk about is something that shouldn't be publicly streamed.
Yeah, you're right. There's some people I'm willing to defend, and there's some people I'm willing to. But hey, quick thing on this comment, Toby.
Yeah.
What do you think? Can you make it happen?
Well, I mean, with YouTube stuff, you kind of have to like have a lot of source material, like say like reviews, and so it could happen. It's just definitely I don't think it's that great of a source.
Oh, dude, your YouTube poops are fucking awesome. I love your YouTube poops.
They
really do.
Like I'm currently working on a
Nathan,
Christmas
what's up?
Sodor Express Studio says, "Will do the Bartman."
It's the funny.
I'm contemplating.
It's the funny.
I've never,
funny.
I've never actually heard Bartman. I've never sat down and watched that music video.
It has Michael Jackson in it. It's truly it's a sight to behold, definitely.
Yo,
hey, guys, we're not watching this on
I'm the guy with the rat being rude, terrorizing people
I am
forever.
not getting taken down.
Okay,
I
let's
did.
end this right now.
You know what, guys? I tried to watch Salty.
Katama speak.
I tried to watch Salty's Lighthouse on one stream before, and whatever the hell that company's name is, just block as hard as they could.
So, what's everybody's favorite wood railway model? Like, what's everybody's favorite obscure wood railway model? One that wasn't like around for long enough, or the one just really cool that not many people really think about.
I've had the Chinese dragon, not the plastic one, but the one with the cloth tail, and you've got the beads on the nails on top, like the 90s iteration of. I wasn't even born in the 90s, but I've had the 90s iteration of Chinese
Toby, grab your
dragon.
cutout.
Oh shit! Yeah, hold up.
That one's a weird one where you just sort of have no use for it, and you forget it's in your collection, and then you're like, wait, yeah, that guy, exactly.
Nice.
You just look at that. Because I never use it. You just sort of go like, oh wait, shit, I have this. What am I gonna do with it? Okay.
The
Oh my god.
Oh, and yeah, just so you know, Toby gave me a couple of extra cards.
What?
I don't have the Percy though.
Yeah,
but I do have the.
So yeah, I have a
dragon like that. Why is a Chinese dragon?
You just I also casually drop that. The fact that you got that.
And James.
Yeah,
that is incredible.
All this 90s stuff. What?
That is really.
Let me turn on my
cool,
second light. Hold up.
So for me.
Oh yeah, dude. He makes his collection of stuff is like insanity.
You need to do I don't know if you have, but you definitely need to do like a shelf tour because I will pay money to do that.
So I have all the annual stuff. If anyone's a Thunderbirds fan, anyone is.
Nikki, please check private chat if that question can be possible.
Wait, you have a Twitter?
Here's my little
shadow box of stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, the private chat is different from the comments. It's only the people that can see it that's in the StreamYard.
I see. I did not realize that.
Never mind.
Why do I think Toby is from Alabama?
And yes.
What?
And you know what, Nikki, I say this. I said it with love. I do think that Adam Sandler is polar opposite to Matt because, like I said, Matt puts craft, effort, and time into his humor.
You don't need to explain it. Everyone in their grandma
and writing. And Adam Sandler is a sports monitor.
Everyone and their grandma has shit talked Jack and Jill.
Yeah.
I don't just watch a Literary Media video on it.
Doesn't mean I disagree with anything you're saying, but it's like, okay, Adam Sandler sucks, and yep. All right.
Star Wars is a friend
like he does, I agree.
Disappointing character is my son.
Yeah, so what do you think of this? So that's another thing. So yeah, I got the complete series 2.
which again I have no DVD
Oh
player for
yeah,
this, so it's.
I do. Yeah, that's the Region 2 one.
Excuse me, I just need to. Let's just put comments up here, just for.
You're a. Oh. God.
So how you guys have pitchforks? You guys got pitchforks? Torches? I'm just kidding.
I also
that wouldn't be very democratic.
You know you messed up when you have a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ugh.
Like Rotten Tomatoes is the most trusting of source. Like, I believe that Toy Story 4 is a 96% film. No.
Toy Story 4. Holy shit! What a train wreck. The beginning's great, and the ending's great.
Quick question: Does anyone else have the books on tape for Brand New in the Phantom?
Can I just say that I am not a fan of the ending? It just felt so wrong.
Yeah, Woody. I mean, like it's no. The CGI looks real when Woody.
The animation is incredible.
Like it looks so real when he's laying on the pavement and
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I talk about this for a moment?
In the rain.
Textures and animation.
I know the shot you're talking about.
Like textures and just normal animation.
Does anyone else have these book on tape?
Oh, I do not.
Oh.
Yeah, continue, Toby.
Bicycle Express.
Brand New is Goodwill.
Peace out.
Oh, but continue what you're
I have sticker sheets. I have a bulgy and a person magnet here, and I also have an alarm clock.
Oh, nice. See, I have a clock in my too. I think.
That's
like look at stuff like the 2019.
Yeah, you know what? I'm trying to compete. I'm trying to Toby. I can't. He's better than me.
Oh. The message on screen.
I want to, but everyone is asking me to send a link, and it's making me very stressed.
But the thing on. Oh, are people asking you to give them the link? That's dumb.
Oh shoot! I wasn't muted. Crap.
Your cover is blown.
I'm sorry. It's like I'm actually wanting. I'm wanting to, and I'm even gonna put my foot down and say I'm sorry, but I can't do this time. I just can't.
Same, like my Discord notifications.
I don't even know how to share the link.
Boom shakalaka.
By the way, Will, I'm sorry I didn't answer you too, but I was also trying to avoid that as well.
It's fine. It's
fine. Can we have an edit where instead of in Tower Parody, where instead of you know that shot where it's Mr. Seeney's in the acid trip and like it's really close up and it's all like faded away and the exposed and like the green screen phase like all the way up so it's showing through his face. We have like the Chicken Man's face put there instead.
It's Chicken Man.
Oh hey Thomas Smallingen, I was just talking to you a few seconds ago.
The yeah, Toy Story 2. Chicken Man.
I was just thinking about this.
Like Matt question.
It's the Chicken Man.
I was just thinking from Tamar Parody, just like imagine I'm filming like the gold dust in the woods, then like some like random hikers just like what.
Well, I mean that literally happens in our parody.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm
hikers
saying. I'm like,
literally go by and see the absurdity. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing with so much of what I was trying to do was not with the parody was to not even like you got to take the shitty parts that are meant to be taken seriously, like the Lily plot, and you got to beef that up and make that not terrible and not a 14-year-old girl talking to a stuffed animal unexplained.
Yeah. Right.
But then you also have to take the absurdity of the rabbit scene, the office scene, all these really goofy scenes, and amp them up to the degree where, okay, he doesn't just read a note, eat some vegetables, and find his cousin. He reads a note, finds cereal, eats the cereal, realizes the cereal is rabbit shit, spits it out, has to go to the rabbit's house, destroys the rabbit's house, steals his mushrooms, realizes they're magic mushrooms, goes on a trip, and then he you have emphasizing all of that up to where like for example, the scene where Thomas goes through the buffers with Lily, like when you're like, I promise I'll get you home to your grandpa, Lily. You know, that whole thing. Like the joke there, we didn't change any of it. We literally just had the scene that played out in the original play out as we did, and then the only difference is, oh, George and James happen to be witnessing it, and that's where the satire comes in, where you just go, if anyone had just happened to be watching this shit, they would think it was the most insane thing. So you don't even, sometimes, like in that case, you don't even have to amplify the absurdity. You just have to play out the moment as it was originally, and then, you know, have someone go, the fuck?
Yeah.
What? Did you, what? Because it's so, because Allcroft's ideas are so absurd and so terrible that any, like, I had a number of people, and I'm sure I'll release it at some point, but it was sort of a litmus test for having people involved with the parody. Was I would show them, okay, well, this isn't just a Thomas thing. This is really, really bad. And
I have to head out. I'm sorry for interrupting, but I will
go ahead.
see you all later.
All right.
Right.
Good stuff.
Probably had Matt back or something.
But it was sort of a litmus test to show people. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. What?
Starting to make my way to the top of the
Matt should be.
But like I showed,
go ahead.
You know,
go ahead.
I would show people that I wanted to get involved with the project. Like we had a roundtable reading for all the 1969 scenes with Tasha and young Burnett and all those people, and they'd be like, okay, so it's not just a bad kids movie, but you have to fucking see this. And I would show them the rabbit scene, because the rabbit scene comes out of nowhere. There's no context in the original movie for the rabbit scene. It's just, yo, hey, I guess rabbits can talk and write, and they have access to clean vegetables in the woods, and like, okay, we're just thrust into that, where anyone can just sit there and, you know, it's like, you know, you don't have to explain the situation because you're given the same amount of context that the movie gives you. And so I would just show, you know, quote unquote normies, I would show them the rabbit scene, and every single time it was like, oh my God, I get it. I get why you're doing this parody. It really is that bad. Britt Allcroft really is that shitty. Fucking incredible. Like, oh yes, of course I'll, you know, be involved, or I'll do VFX, or I'll be Tasha, or, you know, whatever. But when you show people, you just show people the rabbit scene, which is like, you know, a minute and 15 seconds. It's not a long scene. All the scenes in Magic Railroad are relatively short, the original. But you just show anyone these sequences out of context, and they'll go, what the fuck? And then you realize, oh, that's the context we're given in the movie. And it's still what the fuck. And it still makes no sense. And it's still terrible. And it's still not it's still not what anyone signed up for. When, you know, you're a 5-year-old kid in the year 2000 who loves Thomas and Friends, and oh my God, they're making a movie? I've got to see this.
It's hard to make a Magic Railroad rewrite that doesn't embrace how, like,
absurd
crappy the film is.
No, the thing is, it's not just hard. It's without fundamentally changing every aspect of the original Magic Railroad, you can't make it good. And I didn't intend to do that. I just tried to make it self-aware and somewhat relatable. So Lily isn't sitting there, you know, like, for example, I think a great example of just how to fix it is you watch, like, you know, the original scene where Lily meets Junior Conductor for the first time. And it's this shot where he's like dusting off the gold dust. He's like, oh, I've got to get to cousin. I've got to get to the island. That whole thing. In the original, it's like a 20-second shot where it's a medium between Lily and Junior, and she's just standing there with her mouth open for 20 seconds straight, not saying anything, not doing anything, and just going, I'm Lily, who are you? And it's fucking atrocious. And it's like, okay, if a little fucking goblin man just appeared next to you, you would freak out, try to squash it with a newspaper, but oh my God, you would scream, you would run away, you would whatever. And it's just this fundamental thing where you watch the original Magic Railroad and go, I've never heard anyone who talks like this. I don't know anyone who thinks like this, who would say this, who would do this. It's just not just bad, but it's completely like, I don't understand why anything that's happening is happening. And which is why it's so fundamentally easy to parody and to do a rewrite and to do these things that everyone has been doing, where it's, oh, I'm doing but Epic Entertainment's doing a version, and Useful Engine 11's doing a version, and so many people are doing parodies and rewrites and remakes and reimaginings, and it's so easy to do different versions because the template there, the basis, the source material that you're working off of is so flawed and so misguided and confusing to where you can take it in any 15 directions to make it better, and each one of them is different, and each one of them is still somehow better than the garbage that Britt Allcroft vomited on screen in 2000. It's pathetic.
So, Nikki, what you did with obviously expressing like that there are two different kinds. Like there's wooden figures or wooden people of wood
and live action people,
and then you have humans, and it's like
right.
I would love to explore that if I ever did a film.
No, and that's
I'd love to explore that.
That's what I'm talking about, where stuff like that is where you don't even have to change it. It's not like, oh my God, Thomas's driver has a swastika and a clown wig and he's so silly. It's a giant wooden figure. And
hey,
you're
Bob,
a real
how's
person
the life?
standing. Yeah, exactly. Where you don't have to change it. You can just, and that's probably the reason that Allcroft realizes that that she couldn't have human characters on the island of Sodor was, well, shit, we need to get Alec Baldwin on a green screen, and that would look really weird if he was in the cab next to Thomas's driver from the TV show. So the engines will be self-driven, and that's the end of it. And I understand that. I understand that way of thinking, because when you put live action next to wooden figure, it's as absurd as it was in the parody.
Right.
It's just like, what the fuck? How this is a human, but this isn't a human. But okay, who's a real what is it? And that idea was that was way too silly for Allcroft to do it. But holy shit, we have to do that.
Right. But what I was gonna add was, like, if they were to redo it, I feel like they should have just went with live action actors.
They should have gone either full live action or
But the thing is, in the final film, though,
no, don't use wooden figures. That's a horrible idea. If you're gonna make a film, a big $19 million budget film, and you're gonna use wooden figures for the main characters, it's
no,
not a good idea.
The thing was, even by 2000, the art style of the original series was so antiquated, and then you get up to like season 11 in 2007, and you're still doing the wooden figures thing. Where it was like, I'm surprised they didn't do the CGI switch a decade earlier.
That would have been actually pretty interesting. Okay, so I got this idea from someone.
Here's the thing.
So they're live action on the like in Shining Time, Muffle Mountain, and as you're traveling through the Magic Railroad, they turn into wooden figures, and so it fits in with everything.
Yeah, no, that's something that we were toying with. Not that specific idea. That's a really good. I do like that idea, but we had an idea where if like towards the end when they're in the grotto, and Junior and Mr. Conductor are like they're oh my God, we need to find the gold dust quick. We're depleting, and we're about to die. We're going through withdrawal. We need gold dust. One of the ideas that Rob came up with that I thought was too complicated was when they run out of gold dust, they start turning into wooden figures, like at the end of Back to the Future when his hand starts disappearing.
So it's like
just have like the picture transform and whatnot. Yeah,
like that kind of thing. And then, oh my God, we got the gold dust just in time, and they're live action people. And again, that creates a whole series of wait, does that mean that all the wooden figures are, people without gold? Like that creates a whole butterfly effect of logical whatever. Which it's a silly parody. It doesn't. There's a lot of things that it doesn't stick to. But I thought that was a little too complicated, and it was also suggested at the last minute. It was so it was like they already have so many things to do as it is, which is why we cut Mutt, we cut the tumbleweed, we cut a number of elements where it's like this doesn't add anything. It's not particularly funny, unique. Just cut it. Mutt doesn't need to be there because if you can cut him out of one scene and the movie still flows, then he shouldn't have been in there in the first place.
I guess the same thing goes with Cranky and
Hey, why does that sound? Nikki, it's kind of funny. Doesn't that sound like something that happened to the real movie?
Oh, just in general. Well, yeah, no, because the fucking No, because that was the thing. Is by the end of it, that was the thing that was so bizarre. Was that P.T. Boomer, like in my version, is so very, very different from Doug Lennox's version because all I had to go off of was Allcroft's script. We didn't have the footage at the time, obviously, when we were shooting, and then the stuff got leaked, and then the Blu-ray comes out, and you slowly get to see little puzzle pieces of what Doug Lennox was, and you go, oh, this was nothing. this was absolute. It's not like there's some interview where a crew from I think SIF back in the day where the crew member was talking about like, oh, they cut P.T. Boomer out of the movie because Doug Lennox was too funny and they were afraid that he was going to steal the spotlight away from Thomas. And it's like, P.T. Boomer was nothing. He's not particularly scary. He's not particularly threatening, and he doesn't add anything to the plot.
He stands there and he throws punches in the air. It's not menacing.
There's like 3 different scenes in the deleted scenes on the Blu-ray where he's just like abusing flowers. Like he rips up flowers outside Burnett's house. He punches the flower. Like it's just so. The fact of the matter is that you can remove the P.T. Boomer character from the Magic Railroad movie, and not only does the plot still make sense, but it's actually improved by his not being there. And I wish we had known that. Before we had gone into the parody, because I went into the parody going, oh my God, I've spent the past 10 years trying to see how we spent the past 10 years trying to, oh my God, we have to see the director's cut. I need to see the director's cut. The director's cut's going to be so good. Fuck, the director's cut's never going to come out. I guess I'll just make a director's cut of my own, and we'll do P.T. Boomer the way I want to make it, and we'll make it funny and satirical and all these things. And then when we actually see the director's cut and realize, oh, this was a piece of shit. This was actual like flaming garbage. You have to sort of retool. We had to retool what we were working with because we realized, oh, this was just terrible, and we need to make it better than Allcroft's, because part of the thing was just being able to talk and work out what we were trying to do, which we couldn't do without the source material. And once we saw that and went, oh, Doug Lennox is bad, Britt Allcroft is bad, all these scenes are bad. And these scenes in our parody simply exist to go, well, remember the original? Remember how cool oh my God, this is a deleted scene from, no, how cool is that? And then you actually see the deleted scene that we were trying to get our hands on, and it's terrible. And we're like, well, fuck, this is useless, and it adds nothing to the plot, and it's boring, and we need to tighten up what you've got, because what doesn't work is not working. And Allcroft's movie was just scene after scene of this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work.
Oh, also, I was gonna add, if you need any help, Nikki.
So long.
Yeah. You need any help with what?
The review thing. If you need any help, just let me know.
Yeah, that's.
I could probably just a little bit of Ringo thing, like I could do some sentence mixing or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be pretty. It's just sort of an idea I've had because I've had so much to say about Magic Railroad, and I realize a lot of people walked away from the parody thinking that oh my God, this is such a loving homage to the original.
Yeah.
You must really love the original Magic Railroad, and the whole takeaway that I was trying to go for was, what? No, this whole thing is meant to show the absurdity, the ridiculousness, and the terribleness of Allcroft's version by showing you the extremities of, oh, okay, it feels like he's on drugs. Oh, okay, you can do this. You can cut Matt out, and it doesn't matter. You can cut the tumbleweed out, and it doesn't matter. You can do all these things, and it was meant to poke holes in Allcroft's thing, and I think it did to some extent. It certainly got people talking about it, but I feel like there was a lot of stuff I wanted to say. And then the Blu-ray happened, and everyone on Twitter is going, well, guys, I really think you should support this no matter what. I really think, you need to put your morals first and support what you want, to say that we need more of this. The Blu-ray is atrocious, it's embarrassing, and I don't think that you should... If you want to support it, that's totally your choice. I respect that. What I don't respect is the people who... I don't remember who said it, but there's a couple people who said, guys, I don't care what you do, just go out and buy it and support it because we need more stuff like this, and you should be able to inform your own, don't just be a fucking fly or what's the better term, a sheep, and just go, oh, well, everyone else is telling me I need to buy this Blu-ray, I guess I should buy this Blu-ray.
I only bought it because it's Tamara on Blu-ray, and I only have like the DVD version, which is
and there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to own a Blu-ray of Magic Railroad, buy a Blu-ray of Magic Railroad. That's totally fine. But you shouldn't just, guys, there shouldn't be any criticism of this. I don't know why there was someone that said like, oh, I guess we're talking shit about the Blu-ray now. Is that what we're doing? Like, as if conversation and discourse is not allowed.
Well, the Blu-ray
just blindly go, well, I'm going to support this no matter what.
The Blu-ray is just people being paid to praise Brit's lack of filmmaking talent.
No, and that's the thing where I think Dee Conn in her interview specifically uses the word visionary to describe Britt Allcroft, where it's like, okay, it's not the fact that they're lying. It's the fact that Britt Allcroft was a charming woman who convinced a lot of people that didn't know anything about Thomas that she knew a lot about Thomas.
But
and so you've got all these
doesn't know
people. You've got all these people these talented, good people like Alec Baldwin, Mara Wilson, Dee Conn, all these people who are good actors, and Britt Allcroft has convinced them that she's a visionary. It's a con job. The Blu-ray is a con job, and you don't have to watch it for more than 5 minutes to just see that. And anyone who goes, well, you just need to blindly support it because it's classic Thomas. It's not fucking classic Thomas. This has nothing to do with classic Thomas. Mattel has nothing to fucking do with this. I don't know. You saw that thing earlier today where there was like a trivia thing in the movie theaters where it's like the Magic Railroad is based off of the Railroad series by the Reverend W. Audrey, where it's like this shit writes itself. It's not even like, well, push up your glasses and go, well, actually, it's the Railway series. Like, it's not just that. It's the fact, it's like, it's satirical levels of idiocy. It's like, you couldn't write that if you wanted to go, well, wait, the Americans are ruining Thomas. They'd probably call it the Railroad series. That's like, sounds like some joke that you would find on Twitter. And then they actually do it.
Are you throwing up like hand symbols right now? Because it sounds like you are.
You know what? I usually do talk with my hands, but
yeah.
Also, another thing is, I think the reason why people are saying they want to support it is because, like, in the U.S. or just North America in general, they don't have full season DVDs.
That's true. That's true. You never get that kind of thing.
Only two.
You've got the early years.
Did we ever get a full season DVD of anything? Early years.
Yeah.
And there was like a season 12, like
adventure pack. I own that.
Season 12 was released on one DVD.
It's called it has four different DVDs inside one. I'll go grab it.
What's it called?
Well, one yeah. The adventure pack, I think it's something like that. It was just they bumped the four season 12 DVDs together.
It's a bundle. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's not like an official
I have it on my camera. Right
now. I see that. It's not like Thomas and Friends Series 12. Yeah.
Oh, I think I know why. You want to know why they don't do that for the US?
Because it's not a serialized thing. Yeah,
right.
It's a DVD purchasing. No one, if you're fucking 4 years old, no one's gonna go, but I want to just watch season 25 of Sesame Street. It's like, no, you want to watch the fucking episode where Elmo does whatever. Like, it's a kid's show, so people aren't going to take it seriously as a serialized thing where you were like, oh, I just want to see season 4 of Thomas and Friends. No one gives a shit. No one takes it seriously.
Yeah. So, and that's why they called it the early years, which I don't really get why you would, but...
Well, you're trying to, at that point, it's
the early years implies...
whatever, yeah.
Sorry, but I'm just saying, early years implies like, it's seasons 1, 2, 3, and whatever.
Not
because those are the early...
years plural.
To me, that's what it implies.
It's just it's a marketing thing where you're at a point in like 2004 and some ad executive at Entertainment went, well, we have all this stuff sitting around and it's probably been several years since any of these episodes were readily available in the US, or if they are, it's like, oh, well, James Learns a Lesson is on DVD, but like that's it. Where it's like, when was the last time you could see tenders and go to the store and buy tenders and turntables or whatever, where it's like, oh, it's a marketing thing where it's not just, well, they're trying to get season 1 out. It's, hey, people remember Ringo Starr. People are nostalgic for the very first Thomas. Let's put that on a DVD.
Right.
They did the same thing with Sesame Street, I think, where it was like the golden oldies or the early years. Or the third,
I want to talk about that. Hold on.
Yeah.
I want to throw my hat in the ring. With that release, I was expecting for 50th anniversary, you know how there's those 2 episodes that were like lost and whatnot?
Of what?
The Sesame Street, the Wicked Witch, the West one, and
I'm not much of a Sesame Street aficionado.
Well, I'm not either, but like I would think because 50th anniversary, you would put those episodes on there because it's anniversary special. You think that you would, put it on there, kind of like how the. Sorry, that's just my little rant that I wanted to get into. Sorry.
That's not even a rant at all.
No, you're fine. I'm not like expecting you to be top.
Yeah, dude.
I remember every character. No, I'm not.
No.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying.
I just got. I saw one of Nikki's outside shots of Tamara parody show up on my timeline. Why did you film it outside instead of just filming it inside?
Oh, you mean like the countryside and shit like that?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like the thing with the 2 tunnels, and then you have the.
Oh, right. Yeah. So that was done because of, well, the fact of the matter is that we wanted it to look, I mean, because you have, there's plenty of scenes that were shot indoors that were played off as like daylight, like the scene with Edward and James in the yards when they see the Gold Tech logo.
Wasn't Nafford
and Nafford was shot outside, but we had interior, like it wasn't shot inside, but it was shot
with studio lights.
Basically, yeah. So what I wanted to do with the outside scenes, which was basically as much as possible to give the illusion of being outside, and the reason that was because we had a number of sequences that were partially live action, and I wanted to use real location footage, like when Lily meets Thomas and they go to the windmill and the campfire and the grotto, and all of these things needed to be shot outside practically as much as possible. So I tailored the lighting to match the lighting of the live action footage, it's not that it was shot first, but I realized it would look better if it was shot outside for real. And you need to pay attention when you're syncing those things up. You need to pay attention to the kind, like I wouldn't have, like for the windmill scene when Thomas takes, Junior and Lily to the windmill and Mr. Conductor's there, and that whole thing was shot outside on purpose, because it'd be really weird if, I did like, if I shot half the live action stuff outside, and then the model stuff was filmed indoors in like a sidekick Jason video where it looks like it was kind of filmed in a dentist office, where like it's very flat.
Oh God, yeah.
Fluorescent lighting.
Yeah.
I've met Jason. He's been to my fucking house. Jason's a great guy, but he has a controlled studio look to it. And I do that too. There's plenty of stuff that I do that has that sort of fluorescent lighting to it. It's just even and it's easy, and there's nothing wrong with it. But when you're trying to match footage that was literally shot in broad daylight outside, you have to just go outside and do the same thing. And so that kind of carried over through the rest of production to as many scenes as I could. And then I realized, like, started getting into like the chase and things like that. It's so much harder to do that stuff outside in direct sunlight, because you're dealing with the elements, you're dealing with wind, you're dealing with shadows, you're dealing with, we have to build this set, but it can only be seen from 3 angles, because the 4th angle is where and where the camera is. And like the windmills, like just the model of the windmill had to be built twice, because there's the side facing Junior and Lily and Mr. Conductor, and then there's the side facing Thomas that had to be a different set, because I didn't have like a whole 360 thing built. And so you have to pay attention to lighting and shadows, and well, if the sun is over here, then logically Mr. Conductor's green screen shadow would be somewhere over here. And that was something we really tried to pay attention to, was lighting and shadows, and trying to keep continuity to where as much as possible you're watching a scene and you cut to a new shot, and it was shot 2 years earlier than the previous scene, and it's on a green screen in Toronto, and we're trying to match footage from last week in my backyard in California, and you're trying to sew the whole thing together in a way that doesn't take the audience out of the mood, or out of the like, whoa, this looks different. Like, you have to sew everything together, and so many of those sequences are made of, sometimes upwards of 10, 15 elements, like the engine shed scene where Diesel 10 destroys the sheds. That was the full Timoth Shed set. That was the inside Timoth Shed set. That was a live action set. That was a different, like, there was like 17 different little pieces and elements that were filmed at different places and different lighting and different times of the year that all had to be sewed together in a way that didn't take the audience out of it. Yeah.
So did you film?
And then
on top of that,
you gotta add big different expressions and animations.
Yeah, and then that's also another thing where, well, now we've shot all the scenes, we've got all the model stuff. but Thomas can't be smiling the whole time. So we have to go back to the same locations, get the same lighting just for the facial expression, just for the face masks. And so light, like there's so many different elements that have to come into play when you're doing something on the scale that we were doing in the way that we did it. Because like, luckily for us, Magic Railroad is a movie that largely takes place like in the woods or in the city or at a train station where there's real places that you can go and film it and you can make it work. Or, oh, we just needed footage. This scene takes place at a campfire. Okay, get a campfire in a field of grass. Bam, there's your scene. It wasn't everything, literally everything except for the interior of Shining Time Station could be just filmed at someone's house or someone's park or a green screen or whatever. But the only thing that needed was like, you can't go out and find a Shining Time Station in real life. You have to go and fucking build that. So we had a sound stage and we had a studio. We fucking built that and it worked, but it was so laborious and expensive to get all of that done to where I'm very lucky that we did, the Magic Railroad parody and not like the Star Wars parody or the RoboCop parody or the Terminator parody or something like that, where it's like, well, shit, Star Wars takes place in another galaxy. And yeah, you can go out into the desert in Tunisia and do what they did. But what are you going to do for Mos Eisley? What are you going to do for the Death Star? You can't just go out and you can't go out to a train station and say, oh, we're on the Death Star. You have to build all of that shit.
Well,
so I'm very lucky that we got to do that. Yeah,
I was going to add a point about your lighting thing, and like, there's some points it's very jarring, especially in the James Bond movies. Dr. No, there's tons of shots where you can easily tell it's daytime, but it has the nighttime filter on it, and it's the most distracting thing ever.
shooting day for night. I remember the guy that we had working with us, the main producer for the TCC, always told us, don't worry about nighttime stuff. Just shoot day for night. It's easier, whatever. And I said, no, fuck you. That's bullshit. That looks terrible. I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. And that's the tricky thing is, okay, you want to film at night for real. Can your camera handle it? Does it look grainy? Can you make out, what's the light source? What's the logical placement of all of this stuff? And can your camera capture that in a way that makes it worthwhile? Otherwise, do it exactly, the way you were describing. Just shoot day for night and then make it look dark in post.
Right.
But you have to ride that line between, I think, learning about lighting and light sources and things like that was really, really, really important for Magic Railroad parody, and it was something that I didn't know much about beforehand, and I sort of had to learn by doing on the parody. Go, well, shit, okay, this scene is lit by a campfire, so there can't really be any other light sources, and if they are, they have to be subtle and undefined, where Mr. Conductor stands up and you see that there's a very bright full moon behind him, which implies that in the rest of the scene, if there's a light source that isn't the campfire, you can just, chop that up to the moon or, something like that, where you have to sort of have an excuse for, you can't just have a scene with Mr. Conductor at night and it's brightly lit and we're just not going to explain it. It's like, okay, no. How about, because this, like the rabbit scene, for example, there's the cereal box scene and there's the rabbit, which is in the parodies, the scene where they do the gold dust like crack and they're talking about the Mr. Conductor's portfolio. Like that whole scene was written to take place at night, like the original movie, how the sun's setting or it's like dead of night or whatever. And Rob filmed the whole thing, and I went, well, there's no way we can edit this to make it look like it's night. So how about we recontextualize it to where it's like, oh, the sun's coming up, and the sky is orange, and oh, that's where that lighting is coming from. So the lighting in making it match was so important.
For interrupting, but what are you talking about?
Oh.
I'm
also,
talking
I got
about
a few questions, but JT, go.
Yeah, no. I'm just I'm referring to the scene where Mr. Conductor and where Mr. Conductor meets the rabbit, and he vomits on him, and they're the scene in the field where they're talking with the like that whole sequence was written to take place in the dead of night, and then Rob shot it like as the sun was setting, but he had to do it over the course of like a week. It was like 4 or 5 days he filmed it, and I looked at the footage like, this is great. But this doesn't look like night, and there's no way I can edit this to make it look like night. So I re-edited it and sort of recontextualize it to be like, oh, it's early morning, the sun's coming up, now there's your defined light source. Because if you don't have that, then
you don't have any cohesion between the elements of, well, fuck, okay, well, Mr. Conductor's on green screen, Diesel 10 is on one thing, the viaduct is another thing, the cliff is another thing, the river is another thing. They're all these different puzzle have to kind of sort of look like they're in the same place. And the only way that you can do that effectively with virtually zero budget is match the lighting and go, okay, well, if the green screen's filmed in direct sunlight in your driveway, then make the model footage filmed in direct sunlight in your driveway, and hopefully that will kind of make it look like they're in the same place, you know?
So I got a few questions. So
go ahead, yeah.
The scene with James where he's talking to George, so he runs out of coal. How did he get from there to the smelter's yard?
You know what? So in the script, that scene was much longer, and basically the reason I cut it because it wasn't. We needed to lose. We needed to lose about an hour from the movie, and there was just a number of scenes that dragged on. Or we could, you can cut this and you don't lose anything. You can cut this and it still makes sense. So the excuse was James is doing his last train of the night, and he runs out of coal. And George happens to be there because he's been sent on assignment to destroy the buffers. And he's having second doubts, and he runs into James. And the reason that they stop to have small talk is because James stops him and goes, hey, buddy, George, I think I'm run out of coal. Can you help me? And so Jem Cole, George's driver, has to kind of hop down and give James's driver some coal to give him to refuel. And that was the reason that they stopped to have that conversation. I wanted to give them an excuse to be like, oh, while they're waiting for George to give James some coal, or at least enough coal to head back to the sheds, they'll have a conversation about ethics and morality.
Why? Oh, wait, do you have another question, Useful?
Here, let me quickly think about it. But yeah, so crap. So I completely forgot. That was just one of those.
It's all good. I'm sure there's a number, because the thing is, like, where that question you asked wasn't a bad one, but it was also like, well, fuck, it's not necessarily something that needs to be explained, where it's like, okay, well, if George isn't the one who gives him coal, then I don't know. You assume, the driver telephoned for help and Percy arrived with a breakdown train, or, it's something like that, where that doesn't, we don't need to take time out of the movie to explain something like that, because what matters is what the characters are going through and the state, because that scene between George and James isn't in the original movie. There's no draft of the script that has that, but I realized that it was really important for the audience to see that George was very clearly having doubts about his association to Diesel 10, and the only way to make him turn, because in Allcroft's script, George is just la la la, I'm a bad guy, la la la, and then at the very end of the movie he goes, you know what, Splodge? Fuck you, I hate you, and he leaves. And there's no point where he's like, maybe I should reconsider my, there's no in between point. There's no middle.
Be considered? Sorry. Could he be considered an anti-villain almost?
Oh, I'd say anti-hero. Definitely, because at the end he redeems himself by switching the points for Thomas. But that was definitely a thing where I was like, well, shit, I want to have George in the movie because as a fan, you want to see what the movie would be like if George was in it. But also, because he's not in any other version of the movie, you can effectively cut him out of the movie entirely and it still makes sense because he's an add-on. He's an addition. So it's like, well, if we're going to have George, we need to give him a reason to be there, to necessitate his existence. So we, put him in the chase scene, give him a plot reason to be there. And he's a really interesting sort of middle ground between the Sodor steam engines and the Gold Tech diesels, Splatter Dodge Diesel 10. So I kind of wanted to keep him in there because you can't cut him. You could cut George from the parody and you wouldn't lose any plot things basically. But I really wanted to keep him because I felt like his emotional arc was really important, and I spent a lot of time, especially with that James scene, trying to make it a really developed arc that you could follow from beginning to end. Like Thomas, like Junior, like Lily, like Mr. Conductor. Whereas in the original, none of the protagonists really have arcs, and if they do, they're the weakest, most pathetic, lazy, disjointed fucking, oh, I guess Junior learns the value of responsibility, or I guess Thomas shows that little engines can do big things, or like I guess Lily meets her grandpa and they're friends now. Sort of. That's not really an arc. None of these characters have arcs. None of these characters learn anything, and if they do, it's not explicit. So that was something we tried to do, was to give each of the main characters a very clear change, a definitive. Mr. Conductor learns this. Junior learns this. Lily learns this. Boomer doesn't. Boomer is the character who doesn't have an arc, and that's why he fails, because Burnett repeatedly tries to apologize
because he made
to him
one piece of paper for a contract.
Yeah, well, there's that whole thing was played much more into in the version that we wrote.
Yeah,
but
I
it
need
was
to say this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm talking too much. If anyone else has shit to talk about other than my parody, please bring it up. I don't want to be. I don't want to be the guy who's talking for an hour on Heisel.
Actually, I think the last question I have is
yeah,
so
that's okay. I get it.
I guess for big scenes during really useful engine in the beginning, how the heck did you get all the engines to move at the exact same time?
Yeah, so that is all digital. That is, I don't move the camera, and I move one train, and I get a shot. I move one train, I get a shot. I move one train, get a shot, and then you combine them, and you have 8 different engines moving at once.
Wait, are you being serious? You actually did that all?
Most of it was done digitally.
It's very simple. Yeah, it's very simple. You just I've done it before too.
It's a masking
gotta, cut picture in picture. Yeah, just gotta overlay.
I think the last question that's actually will be the last question we talk about with the parody, I guess, is your favorite buddy Riotron12 asked a question in the chat.
Riotron.
Oh, by the way, I was remembering
I'm not on the actual live stream right now.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
it's on
there
the bottom.
Okay. What was one scene from parody that you cut that you're most upset about, if any? Okay. Yeah. Shit. Because there's a lot of stuff I wanted to keep in there that was either just it was fun but we didn't need it, or we had it in this. I'll say this because there's a number of scenes that we finished and then we realized that it was too much and we needed to trim it, and it worked better without it. But there was one sequence that didn't even get completed, and I wish it had. I mean, I don't wish it had because it would have dragged the scene on for way longer than it needed to, but I think people would have really, really liked it. So and this is something that I know the extended cut was uploaded for a little bit, and then we took it down because Rob didn't like it and he wanted me to take it down, which is fine. It might go back. It might go back up someday. I don't know quite yet. I think I jumped into it too quickly. But the one scene that I wish if we had more money and more resources and more people involved, I think we might have been able to pull it off, but it wasn't necessary. So there's a sequence in the script. Basically, the reason that the land grant exists, you mentioned earlier, PT Boomer has a contract that says that he can legally he bought Muffle Mountain, and he can blow it up and do whatever he pleases with it. And in order to, that was sort of like a little mini MacGuffin I wanted to put in the movie because it explains why PT Boomer can just dick around and do what he wants, and there's no cops trying to hey, what are you doing with this dynamite, asshat? Can you get off of this public property? I wanted it to have a reason for him to be able to do that.
Yep.
But basically, the land grant was meant to set up a scene that we shot. We shot the whole thing, and I'll release it someday, but it's very incomplete. Basically, I'm leading up, and I've been leading up to this for 5 minutes, but the scene that I wish we had been able to work in, and it would have taken weeks of planning, and I probably reshoot it to make it better, but the land grant was meant to give Junior a reason to okay, I'm trying to figure out how to explain this because it's a little complicated. So Boomer shows Billy Two Feathers that he has a land grant, and then little bit later, Patch sees Boomer and runs to tell Billy Two Feathers, I've seen the stranger and all that stuff. And they're talking about, what are we going to do? And he knows about the workshop. And Billy says, oh, you're right. He was here at the station earlier flaunting a piece of paperwork in my face when you dropped off Lily, or you dropped off that girl, he says. And so then Patch knows that Boomer owns the land grant. And then when he goes to the island of Sodor and Boomer comes out of the buffers, Patch says, "Oh my God, Boomer's here and he's got the land grant. We're so fucked." And Junior overhears that and uses that as motivation to follow Mr. Conductor into Thomas's cab during the chase scene. So when they're on the main line, basically when they're on the main line, and they're speeding out of the thing, the idea was that Diesel 10 gets close enough to Thomas to lift his bunker off of the tracks and essentially throw him off to get to Lady, because he's stuck between the two. Diesel 10 doesn't give a shit about Thomas, so he'll throw Thomas out of the way to get to what he wants, which is the lost engine. So the idea was that Junior, having overheard Patch talk about the land grant, he knows that if he can get the paper away from Boomer, that essentially he has no power. So the idea, and this is fully shot, by the way, it's not edited. So it's all on green. It's all on green. Yeah, and it's in the trailer. It's all on green screen. So this it's not as if we finished oh my God, this is a secret thing that's hiding in the vault and it's fully complete. It's a piece of shit. The scene is very, very rough. But basically the idea is that Junior puts on he takes his bandana off and ties it around his head to make himself look like Rambo. And he puts down his aviator sunglasses, and Diesel 10's like, "You can't stop me," or "I'm gonna," he says some generic villain line, and Junior says, "Not if I have anything to say about it." And basically, what he does is he hops out, and it was supposed to be like a very Back to the Future 3 moment where they're walking along the train while it's moving, and so Junior hops out of the cab, climbs into Thomas's coal bunker, which remember is Pinchy is grabbing onto the coal bunker. He's lifted Thomas, ass up in the air. And so Junior hops into Thomas's coal bunker, steps on top of Pinchy, and then along Pinchy like a tightrope onto the back of Diesel 10 to have a fist fight with PT Boomer over the land grant. Okay. And so it's very much like there's a scene in the Wolverine movie from 2014 where he's fighting this guy on top of a moving train in Japan. And I wanted to have a scene that was like, okay, we need to push this to the nth degree. We need this parody to be, every possible, milk it for every possible creative thing that you can get out of it and try to do everything with the setup of the chase. And basically the idea was that PT Boomer and Junior Conductor get into a fist fight on the back of Diesel 10 over the land grant, which ends up with basically it ends up with Junior falling off and going basically right back to where he was. He falls off, oh my God, and he lands back in the cab with Mr. Conductor, which doesn't make any fucking sense.
Oh, you could have done was have a bridge, like they're going underneath a bridge, and then Boomer ducks, and then I don't know, Junior's like, where? And then he like hits the bridge. And then that's how he gets into that.
But it was basically just thrown in there because I wanted to have a really cool fight scene in the movie. I wanted to do this, whatever, and I thought, this is the parody. This is the parody, and we're trying to we're not just we're doing a remake, or I'm doing a version of Magic Railroad, but Duck is in it now, or Edward. We wanted to push everything to 150%, and so if anyone was going to have a bloody fist fight in their Thomas movie, it was going to be us. So we shot the whole scene on green screen, and it's not very good, and it would have taken at least a month of editing, just that one sequence to put it in and to get it to where it needs to be. But honestly, it's not like, let's put together a Kickstarter so Nikki can fucking it's not, I'll release the deleted scene at some point, but it's not very good. We did shoot it, but it's not very, my sister choreographed the fight. Like we rehearsed the fight scene. We shot it from 17 different angles, so all the coverage is there and the footage is there. But at the end of the day, I realized that, wait a minute, it starts out with Junior in the cab, and it ends with Junior back in the cab with Mr. Conductor. You can pull it out, and you haven't lost anything, because at the end of the day, I realized the only reason this scene would need to be there is if Junior succeeded and he actually got the land grant from Boomer. But he didn't. He falls off. He fails. And it was like, well, shit, now we're right back where we started. There's no progress. We didn't learn anything. We didn't gain anything. You can cut it out without having lost anything. So why do we even have it? to begin with. It was just filler, and it made the scene drag on for way longer than it needed to. But I still think that was if we had done it in a way that made it better than what we did, that would have been very cool to see. I think fully realized with all the VFX and the green screen and the models and all that stuff would have been very cool to see. Me getting into a fist fight on the back of a giant wooden diesel train, hurling through the countryside.
Yeah.
I overheard something about this. Did you actually dye your hair blonde for Junior, or like?
I did. My hair has not been that blonde since I was like 12.
Yeah.
I dyed my hair and I grew it out because the thing was with Junior, stuff like Mr. Conductor and Lily can be were shot over several years. There's footage of my sister in the movie that's from like 2017. And there's footage of my sister from a week before the movie came out, and she looks relatively the same, or at least close enough to where you couldn't really tell. Yeah. Whereas with me, it was like, well, shit, I'm going to dye my hair, I'm going to grow out my hair, it's going to be real, and it's only going to look like this for X amount of time. So every scene that involved Junior Conductor was shot between July and September of 2018. Because that's just when I had my hair like that. But other characters, it was a lot easier to go, oh yeah, PT Boomer, he's just my dad. My dad looks old. Fuck it, we'll just shoot it whenever. That doesn't matter, But that stuff had to be timed out and scheduled, and we had to coordinate with shooting locations and getting all that. Like, okay, we can do X amount of Junior scenes in this amount of weeks, and to write a production schedule, to coordinate the crew. Can you shoot on this day? Can you shoot on this day? Because Junior Conductor, I couldn't be behind the camera for, so we had to get a number of cameramen that would be there to, hey, this is in focus, right? Yeah, okay, good.
I feel bad about asking more questions about the parody.
I'll sit here because the thing is, I would really like to do a commentary at some point, and I feel like these questions are probably better tailored for that because it is
definitely,
yeah.
If I'm being honest, you should bring back Mr. Conductor fan mail just for that.
I think I will. I'm not kidding. I think I might do Mr. Conductor fan mail,
Mr. Conductor
making fun of a bunch of fucking idiots in the comments.
Okay, Coldy, can you stop bugging me now, Coldy?
It'd be like your grammar sucks, but it's like because you did Jackass, which
it was a very Jackass kind of thing, exactly.
Which Jack tweeted that series is ending, which is real sad.
That doesn't surprise me.
I mean, it's probably his least. Like, you have Your Grammar Sucks, which ended for a while, but
yeah.
So, okay, can I say this? I need to say it. So, I want to say this. One thing that at least I've told Nikki about this before, but one thing that I just like is just a small thing. The Diesel 10 Doc Oct.
I was about to bring that up.
He did with it.
It's great.
I'm really happy that came together because it wasn't going. That was something that I had in the script for years, and it wasn't really a collaborative thing. Like the Mr. Conductor sequences were very collaborative in that. Okay, well, Rob needs to be involved. Rob needs to approve of the dialogue. Rob needs to do that. Rob needs to film that. The Diesel 10 backstory was almost entirely me filming it, me writing it, me editing it. So it didn't really involve many outside people. And I remember Jacob came to me and was like, dude, this whole thing is so complicated. And what does it connect to? We should cut this. What does this connect to? Or is it whatever? I was like, no, you got to trust me. I'm going to make it look good. I'm going to make this count. And once again, Enterprising comes in and saves the day because that whole arc was very incomplete because we had it that the backstory played out in the way that it did, where Lily's father is manipulated into working for Boomer. He's also kind of a misguided character, and he does all this stuff with Diesel 10. But then we learn that Diesel 10 is actually a victim, and he is being manipulated by this AI technology. He isn't who he outwardly appears to be. And then we didn't do anything with that arc. It didn't go anywhere. It was just like a backstory. And if anything, it made you feel bad for Diesel 10 when he goes off the end of the bridge because like, well, shit, he's not a bad guy. What are we going to do? And I came to Matt with that issue about a little over a year ago in the script. And he was like, well, what if Diesel 10 chooses to go over the edge of the bridge? And I was like, oh shit, that fixes everything. So we had this backstory without a resolved plot that then was resolved by Enterprising, and it made everything make sense because it's like, okay, well, shit, Thomas can stop on a dime when he sees Mr. Conductor in a field. And it's like, oh, Mr. Conductor, you all right? I'm speeding down the countryside, but I'm going to stop just here. But Diesel 10 is has his brakes on for 50 seconds and he can't stop. Or is like, well, shit, what if he chose to go off the bridge? So that arc very much came together in the edit, and I'm very glad that it did because, like I said, me and Matt were the only people that were really involved with the writing and editing and shooting of that, and everyone else was kind of like, why is this in here? What does this add? It feels overly complicated, kind of like filler, like the Junior Boomer fight scene where it's like, why do we have this? This is going to take months to execute. It's probably not going to look very good. What are you doing? And I was just like, no, we got to stick to this because it'll be good. And it's probably the thing I've heard most people talk about the parody. And if people go into specifics about what they liked, the thing that comes up the most is what we did with Diesel 10. And I'm so thankful. I'm really glad that people like that, because that was something that, like, oh, people will watch it because it's Magic Railroad based. Everyone likes the original Magic Railroad. But the Diesel 10 backstory was entirely my creation. And the fact that people enjoyed that, something that had nothing to do with Allcroft, had nothing to do with the TV show. That was just my creativity trying to make that work. And the fact that it actually, people liked it, made me really happy, because it could have not. People could have gone, what the fuck is this? This is too dark, too scary, whatever.
You should create like a podcast, not like JOP, but like a podcast where you have like people come on and they have like questions about the parody and you answer all of them. Because that could be like,
I might do a live stream. I don't think
live stream or whatever.
I don't think we need a podcast.
By the way,
I don't need.
Oh, by the way, JT, I'm sorry. This may be a shameless plug. I'm sorry, but me, JT, and my friend the Sudrian, we have a podcast. It was Disgraceful Disgusting Despicable, and then we rebranded to the Back on Track podcast. And
that's much better. That's much better than just copying the busted buffers. Oh, grease and oil. Ooh.
Like, we've been wanting to talk about your parody for so long now, that to the point where we just couldn't actually get like an actual recording of it.
Like 5 episodes of us recording, and we haven't got past Mr. Conductor leaving Shining Time, because we talked so much.
Wait! I'm confused. So you like you watch the movie and then pause it and then talk about it and play? And
no, we watch the movie beforehand, then we do like a podcast review, like how Red Media does.
Right. Okay.
It was around that time when we were recording for the Disgraceful Disgusting Despicable. That's when JT messaged you about like who was Lily related to. We were recording that podcast.
I asked that.
No, Lily. Yeah, Lily. So the idea is that Lily's mother is the daughter of Burnett Stone, and her father is someone that she has watched change throughout her life. And so he started out as this very jovial guy who, through one thing happens to another, and he loses his job, and he does this, and then his best friend comes back, and then his wife dies, and one thing leads to another, and he's like brick by brick dismantles who he used to be, which is kind of what Allcroft did, but obviously she fucking failed.
Fail.
But I'm really glad that the movie has caused enough people to want to even talk about it. That's very flattering to me, because obviously I have a lot to say about it. But it's nice that other people do too, and I'm very grateful for that, because I don't want to come off.
I could do a 5-hour review just giving my. Not like I hardly have the only thing that I would complain about, which is like the.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Patch appears really late in the film.
Well, that was intentional.
All right,
that was intentional.
Quick thing here, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, really quick here, guys. So it's like 12 a.m. where I'm at.
You should go.
Listen, look. Listen, Nikki, Useful, JT. I'm just gonna end this broadcast here. If you guys want to keep talking off stream,
definitely. And the thing is, I just want to say I'm really talking for like half an hour, because this is your fucking thing. I'm really sorry about that.
Honestly, it's great.
No, dude.
It's really. I mean, it's because this is like having a
totally
full
fine with that. Getting you to be here, that's great. That was. I mean, I've been wanting this for a while.
Insight, for sure.
Also, I want to say RIP Enterprising Engine 93, as he never did get to come back.
I bet he probably fell down the flight.
You grabbed a drink of water. And
I bet he was drinking the chocolate milkshake again, and he passed out.
he went back for seconds, and then he just had a
Yeah.
he had a
Oh,
guys, here's what happened. Here's what happened. He looked at the comment and he realized yes, he is in fact Drew Barrymore, and he just couldn't.
He couldn't handle it. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Well, yeah, totally.
Right, but anyways,
right now, I'm sorry for hijacking things.
Yeah.
I'm just
Well,
glad
thank you, everyone.
Dude,
For sure.
It was very cool to hear everything like behind and what you thought about and have all your meanings behind, because it's almost like you have a meaning behind everything that you wrote in the parody.
I do. That's the thing. Everything is there for a reason.
Which is really, really good, because a lot of filmmakers, when they make movies. Okay, I'll just continue this one.
Yeah, we can we'll just
all right.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right, quick goodbye. Quick goodbye, then we'll
see y'all.
so long, everybody.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Shut up.